What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy. You guys are watching Inside the Coils. Maybe you're listening in. I don't know. Hopefully you're watching and listening all at the same time, though. But tonight, folks, we've got Robert from Husbandry Pro joining us. We're going to be covering the greatest reptile record-keeping and tracking software on the market today. So I'm super excited. Husbandry Pro has changed the way I keep my collection. It has made me more efficient. It has saved me so much time. It is ridiculous. On top of it allows me to give my customers, or at least what I consider a better service to my customers, because I can not only, one, transfer the animal to them, but I can also at shows provide all the information that they're probably going to ask me. You know, when did it last eat, shed, you know, whatever. The majority of these questions that people ask when they're thinking about purchasing a snake, Husbandry Pro has my back with that awesome QR code. So let's bring out Robert. We'll go through, say hi to who's in the chat tonight so far. And then, you know, throughout the show, we'll thank our sponsors of tonight's episode. But we're not going to do it all in one lump sum. We're going to spread it out a little bit for you. So let's bring Robert out. What's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, bro. Thanks for tuning in with me tonight and hopping on here for a couple hours.
Appreciate you having me. I might fall asleep in about an hour. I'm getting old, so nudge me if you see me dozing off.
Dude, if you start falling asleep, Robert,
no, I'm good.
One guy there's one guy I see right now in the chat that will wake you up real quick.
Billy? Is Billy here? Why isn't Billy on? That's what I want.
We could get Billy on.
Bring him in here if he wants in. He might want to be quiet tonight, though.
I was gonna say, we'll see. We'll see. Billy, I'm gonna put the link here in the chat for you, bro. Because when I saw him in there, I thought, you know, maybe we'll entice him in. Maybe we'll get him to hop on here with us. While Billy takes a couple minutes here maybe to hop on with us, let's go through, say hi to some people. We got Holly from Texoma Exotics, which is the newest channel member. Thank you, Holly. But not only is she the newest channel member, folks, she is also one of the channel sponsors, because she is what makes this show look professional. I mean, look at this badass background, guys. Y'all know I'm not capable of doing that. Like,
Holly's awesome. She did some stuff for us too.
I didn't know she even did this, because when I made the lobby and everything, it was just like the standard background. It's one of the perks of having her have access to my stuff, is that she can just hop in here and surprise the living hell out of me. And man, Holly, thank you so much, dear. Absolutely amazing. But everybody go check her out. She's also got wonderful 2 live streams, actually, one on Wednesdays, which I am this week's guest. So you guys are gonna get to hear me talk double time this time. And then she also has another one. It's kind of kick back, relax on Saturday at around 8 p.m. Eastern time, that is. Feel free to check it out. It's a good time. We got Derek from D&K Reptiles. What's up, Derek? The man, the myth, the legend, Billy D. Rose. What's up? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Hopefully you jump in here with us. Sammy, what's going on? Tara, what's up, girl? Tara will be our guest here coming up in February, so looking forward to it, Tara. Let's see here. We got Phil Snyder. Maybe this is one guy here, Robert, we need to convince to convert.
Why?
I think he still uses like a stone tablet, I think, at this point.
You know what? I respect people who say, I use a spreadsheet. I'm so in tune with my animals, and that's what I like. And I'm good with that. You know, it's not for everybody. So,
but Phil's very tech savvy. That's where I've got the issue. The man made his rat shed completely solar powered. Nice. So, I mean, I feel as though he needs to, like, stone tablet is like below his ability. What up, Phil? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Charlie, Gray Rider Reptiles, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, just so you know, our top tier members for the YouTube channel, the channel members themselves, not just the subscription, channel members themselves. For the top tier, there will be a bonus perk coming up here soon for Charlie at Gray Rider Reptiles. So if you are thinking about becoming a channel member, it's not on the list yet. It will be coming, though, but there will be a discount code. Just saying. Mike Herp Collectors, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you in the chat. James Perry, JNS Exotics, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Rob, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Chris, Balls Deep Reptiles, what's up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you tonight. That's another guy we got to get converted, man. I tell you what. Billy says HP for the win. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yes. Now, the only thing is Billy's not in here yet, man. Come on, Billy. Where you at?
He said 5 minutes. He's coming.
Oh, okay. That must be down the.
We better talk now because we won't be able to talk later.
Come on now. Stan, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you in the chat tonight. Beer tips by Robert. Oh, shit. Greg, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. Kurt Wood, what's going on? Good to see you. Carissa, Bohemian Exotics, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. All right, there we go. There we go. Primitive Morse, that's a new one. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Thank you. Watching the Lions roar. Man, that football, I tell you what, it gets you every time, man. I thought about this tonight, folks, while I was at the grocery store, realizing that there's a lot of specials. And I got the things like, why is all this stuff going on sale like all of a sudden? And I'm there thinking, all right, what's coming up? It's like, shit, it's the Super Bowl's coming up. I've got the Super Bowl to compete with here coming up in one of these Sundays. So definitely going to have to figure out which Sunday that is because I don't even know.
It's 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks? Okay, yeah, so that would be, let me see here. February 11th?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Maybe I make that a solo one and don't book anybody for that one. I'm trying to think if I already booked somebody for that. I'll have to look. Boop and Snoots Reptiles, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Scott, what's up, bro? Good to see you. We got to get you on here yet, Scott, now that you've kind of broken your cherry. All right. Now we can't talk anymore. What up, Billy?
Oh, what's going on? Hey, brother.
Let's see here. Who else we got? Bubby Wirtz. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. New face. Try to get caught up here. Garden State Pythons. Pete, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Don, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Blue Zombie Morse, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. All right, that catches us up. Mark, Brotherhood Exotic Morphs, what's up? Thanks for tuning in, dude. All right, so give us a brief rundown of Husbandry Pro, Robert. Or Billy, you can chime in too on this one because you guys kind of.
Billy's always better at it than I am because he uses it on a daily basis. I just look at code all the time. So Husbandry Pro manages your plot or your animals pretty much any way you want it. So if you want to use minimal amounts of it or all the way to the full blown stuff we've got going on for breeders and commercial accounts and things like that. So it's kind of designed to be used a little bit or a lot. And you know what? And people are using it all different ways. And I think we started, you were my first podcast. I think I was on too, Jeremy.
So I think it was right around this time too, because it was right at like my birthday time because my birthday's Tuesday.
Right.
So it's funny that it actually felt almost identical.
Was that 2 years ago or 1 year ago? That was 2 years ago, right?
2.
Yeah, it had to be 2 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Well, we started in what?
No, you're right.
2020, Billy? 2021 we launched, right? In January of 2021.
February 2021.
Yeah. So we're into 2024 now. So 3 years we've been going.
Yeah, you're right, because I forgot about that. It was the first one, and then the second one we came on and I had Nathan with us.
Right.
And it was
right.
All right.
Or that wasn't that the first? Well, either way, yeah. This is so we've come, so far since then. Since we started, it was basic tracking and everything else, and we've just built so much onto it in the last few years, and it's been it's just grown to I think we have over 18,000 registered users right now,
wow.
which is more than we had ever thought would register for the platform. It's really far beyond our expectations. And we're just, I think the future for us too is we're starting to dial into what a lot of businesses require, how we can help you, not only keep your animals, but sell them, how you're going to manage, the business aspects of things and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's not going to be a lot coming for the basic stuff going forward. There's going to be a lot of the higher end changes and a lot of the extra, stuff that we can help you just do normal stuff. Just like even the link tree that we just brought out, it's something it's something that other people, you pay. I don't know how much you pay Linktree, but it was something, we built for our staff. And then we're like, well, why don't we allow users to use it too? Right. And then, we just turn it on for everybody. So we're adding a lot of that kind of stuff that, value add stuff that you would use that isn't necessarily husbandry, but it does fall into the, we want you to help manage your business too and save you time, really, because that's why you're giving us your money, is saving you time and making you look better. Right. At the same time.
Dude,
right. So
tell you what, man, dude, I did notice the Linktree thing. I have not gotten the chance to actually just like sit down and dive into it because I'm very not tech savvy, as everybody knows. I still use the training wheels over here for just basically about everything. But when I saw that, I thought it's like, wow, that's actually really cool. So now my question is, does it work just like everybody else's that has a Linktree thing? The exact same thing?
Yeah, you can add any links you want on it. You know what? At the end of the day, yes, we're not completely selfless, right? We have our link at the bottom there, Husbandry Pro, right? So the feature is, it's going to bring people to us too eventually. But the idea is, why pay Linktree? Whatever you pay them, you can come on here, make your, your Amazon link, your this link, your that link, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be industry. Our idea was it's, industry specific. You're going to put your YouTube channel on there. You're going to put your Instagram. You're going to put all your links within the industry on there, right? But you technically could put anything on there. We'll be adding features like you can highlight a video, so you can put a YouTube video sitting on that page too, and maybe a little bit of extra text at the bottom or something like that. We're going to add a few things to that to kind of make it, a place where you can put your Morph Market link on that. So all those links, right, are in one spot, and you could put yours on as, warfels.husbandry.pro is what you would publicize, right? And anybody that went to that URL would, get your link tree. And because you're also a partner too, that person would be assigned to you as one of your affiliates. So those are kind of, there's a bonus to using it too for pretty much anyone, right? But yeah, it's just a great place to organize and manage, and we're just trying to get a lot of those kind of things going forward.
It's amazing for Instagram because, what frustrates me when you go through people's posts and it's like, click the link and you see it, but you can't click from Instagram, in the post. And then, people don't realize that it's a non-clickable, in your post. So most people say click link in bio, but you always have to go into your bio and go into edit and change that because you're only allowed to have one link in your bio. So they go in there and they do it. So my link to my bio now is basically my Husbandry Pro. So that's in my Instagram. So when you go to my Instagram, click link, it says mutationcreation.husbandry.pro. It brings you here. So now they can go to my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook, my website, my Patreon, and whatever other link I want.
So you can put your email on there too, and your, your I think it does your phone number too. Yeah, exactly. So you put all your information on there.
So it's great. I mean, it's just quick and easy.
Dude, that's badass. Like,
right? Well, it's
that's tomorrow's mission is setting that up now.
and use it. You know what? And use it. The more we get that link out there too, right? The more popular the software becomes, and that's kind of the thing for us, right? Too is finding more ways that we can bring people to the platform and more ways that it's useful for everybody. You're paying us money, and if we can add something that you would normally pay somewhere else, we're going to do it. Right. And that's kind of where we're heading is a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny because I use it daily. Like Robert said, I use it daily. All my staff uses it. I do so much with it. And there's still so much there that I don't even use. And it's just like, wow. And I'm really trying to, like, the inventory. There's a way to track your inventory. And I haven't done that yet, but that's in the works. But, using it from day to day, customer base, I have all my contacts in there. I'm utilizing everything where, I know how people pay because I made my own little squares whether they pay from PayPal, did they pay from Square, did they pay cash, EMT. So I go in there now. When I do everything, I save it, so I know how they paid and where they paid, and it's just awesome where you can have the flexibility to do what you want. Add something or add an activity that's not there that maybe you were you were 10 people. Robert always throws that in. It's like, well, that's a good one, Billy. But how many people besides you and maybe 5 other people in the world are going to use
that?
Yeah, you're right. So it's good that this platform isn't like, oh, well, because I'm a minority, I can't utilize it. I just have to go in and actually make it or put it in myself for me. So it's not like, oh, well, Robert doesn't want to put it in, so I'm sorry, I can't do it. The ability to add little things or change things or manipulate it is at your fingertips, which is amazing. I love it. So
I love the new level of customization that's been implemented with it.
It's like the list, the animal lists and things like that. Well, you know what? Yep. So here's the thing too, right? We're programmers first and foremost, right? We're not necessarily designers, right? So, and in the beginning, it was function before form, right? It kind of, and that's how I always, we are a back end. My company initially was a back end systems developer. So all we did was develop function. Didn't have to be form at all, right? It didn't have to look good. It just had to function really, really well. So that's kind of where we start, right? So we build the platform, we make it work good. Now, how can we improve it? So what we do on a regular basis is we look at every page that we have and we say, hey, how can we kind of do this better, right? So we looked at, the animal list page, and it's a regular table, nothing flashy. You can customize it and everything. And then we said, well, other, softwares that collect other things or manage other things have these nice squares and boxes and whatever. So, that's the next step is let's add another page that can do it, or a switch where you can make it look this way. So I think there's 4 different animal lists that you can do. And now in one of them, you can even change the color of the boxes, how you have them. Right. So those are one of those things that we do when we don't have another project for one of our developers. Like we have 4 developers on staff full time plus me, and they're not always working on a specific task. So my guy that's more of a designer, I'll say, okay, so now go and now revisit this and show me what else you can make it look like. Right. So they'll design that. And I'll tell you, we go into what we call incubation, where we take the idea and we start playing with it. We go into incubation on stuff daily, on new stuff, and then we'll work a week on it and I'll throw it out because it's just not working right. But that kind of stuff happens all the time. So right now I've got another version of the breeding plan with some drag and drop stuff and some nice columns and pretty squares and all that kind of stuff. Nobody's ever seen it, right? Because what I'll do is I'll say, okay, guys, this is what I want. And then, they'll go and they'll work it up for me and I'll go, okay, I hate that. Let's try this, right? And they give me something else, right? So we go through this several times. So I'll tell you, we have some updates and things like that aren't critical, that are just kind of visually pleasing or another option, or we have a dozen or 2 dozen of those kind of things that are in the chain that get paused while we get something really cool out faster, right? So that's kind of how we develop. A lot of companies develop, you got to do this step, then this step, then this step. Well, we have the flexibility to go this step. Well, let's go over here now. Let's run back here. Let's go over here, right? Whatever makes sense at the time, because it evolves pretty quickly too. You've seen where we've come in the last 3 years, right? So it's gone from basic to this huge code base and this just massive thing, right? That we hadn't anticipated, but yeah, we're always evolving and always trying to do better things. And if somebody says to me, hey, go take a look at how so-and-so did it, all I need to know is how it's done and what you like about that and what makes it better. Don't come with me. I have a lot of suggestions. People go, hey, I hate how this works. I'd love to, a lot of the time I say, you know what, that's great. How would you like it to work? And how does that make sense over the way it works now? But we'll listen to anything and go with that. We just want to make it better. We just, we're really leaning on that whole community driven thing, Billy, where we say, you know what, we want the community to drive this thing, right?
Yeah.
Because
And
that's what we're about, right?
the good thing about it is, one, I mean, being a user that's paying, you know, it's like, oh, I'm paying, but you know what, this, you know, I wish it did this, I wish it did that. And instead of being on that side where it's like, I'm paying, but I'm fucking stuck here. I wish I could sort of move and do a few other things. I think we've alleviated that. And people feel good about using a product when they put in something that makes the product, in my opinion, better.
Right.
And they see it happening, and that change is like, oh my God, they listen to me, where most people don't listen. You know, it's like, this is what you get. There you go. You know what? So it's great that way. But the one thing that I think we talked about this before is having other people look at it and give suggestions. It's great because we might have come up with it a year from now. And, oh my God, that's a great idea. Wow. But you know what? Someone else came up with it before we decided, or you know, one of the devs. We get to utilize it now, and it makes the product better today. And I think the first one that happened was I messaged Robert. I'm like, Robert, how do you change the colors so you can on your racks from blue? And this is crazy. Like, when did you come up with that? Oh, it was a customer suggestion. I'm like, dude, I was on the phone with him actually. How do you do it? And I was changing it while we were doing it. But something like that, we would have probably come up with maybe 6 months, 8 months, a year. But we got it now. And that's what's great about it. It's not just 2, 3, 5 people trying to make this app work for everybody. It's everybody making it work for everybody. And I think that's why it's so great. And especially for me as a user. I mean, I'm running thousands of animals just in ball pythons alone, never mind, you know, several hundred in other species. And it's just amazing. I love it. And it keeps getting better. So
well, I remember watching, I think you mentioned that on one of your videos, Billy. And I went in my husbandry. I thought, son of a bitch, is like, I can do it too. So I went and changed it. And my buddy Nathan there, I went and I forget if I texted him or called him, or I was like, dude, did you know you could do this? He goes, yeah. I'm like, shit. It's like, all right, well, never mind. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's so much that people don't know how to use, right? Like we just hired, that's a big change for us going forward in this year. We hired Zach Parpart. I don't know if you know him or not, from Parpart's Pythons. So he is now the business
so the name sounded familiar.
Yeah, he's fairly well known in the industry. So we hired him on full time. So he's the business development manager. So you know, things like, you know, he's testing stuff now, right? As we're developing it and as we're bringing it out, and it gives another eye. It gives, you know, somebody in the community to get more feedback for us and that kind of thing on how it's used. And you know, that's one of the big things we're excited about, I think, for the next year, is we're doing so much, you know, not as far as the software development is concerned, but we're really committed to getting into the community, doing outreach. You know, we're scheduled, I think, for 7 big shows this year, or 8. I think that's how many there are. I don't know how many there are. There's, what is there? 2 Dallas. Yeah. So there's Pomona. We're going to do Anaheim. There's Tinley twice. There's Dallas twice. Florida.
Yeah.
Daytona.
Yep. Daytona.
You got to come out to Gettysburg. You got to come down for one of the Gettysburg shows.
How big are they? Are they big?
Yeah, decent sized. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you don't get like ARS or anybody doesn't come there. Sea Serpents comes.
Well, so for us, what it is we have a trailer in Dallas with Zach, so that has to be driven to any show that we go to, right? Okay. So I've made him commit to 7 this year, or 8, you know, and just like 2 days of driving to some of those, right, each way, right? So he's bitching a little. I fly in, he just drives, you know. So yeah, I would look at it if it's not too. Gettysburg is only, I don't know, what, 8 hours from me.
So yeah, Gettysburg should be a lot. Well, shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it's not as close as Tinley probably, but
right, yeah. But Tinley's 8 hours for me to drive, so I'm going to drive to Tinley. Okay. Right, so yeah, I would drive to Gettysburg, but yeah,
I'll have to send you the info for it then. And
yeah, for sure.
Because I think that'd be awesome to get you to come down there, dude.
Yeah, if it's a good size, we're doing the outreach thing, and driving is certainly cheaper than flying. So, yeah, we'll consider it for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we like to get out that, like getting the awareness out to everybody that's not just in that, that mainstream circle of all pythons and a few other little things. It's everybody that's on all the podcasts and the lives. It's sort of like a community where it's always usually the same people, and there's other people that pop in and out. But Robert went to Pomona, and there's like some people, it's like, man, this is awesome. Never heard of it. Like,
it was like literally 95% of people had never even heard of it, didn't even know there was software for it, right? And that kind of thing. So that's really, where we're going and where we're concentrating on. And, I don't want to say it's not boo to the ball python people, but we're looking to really work towards the gecko markets and some of the other, popular markets too. Because really it can be used to track anything. So we're really, I've got a short tail Python guy that really wants to work on, we've been working on the genetics and stuff, and I went and did some research and that kind of thing. So I even put a post out not too long ago. If you have a species that you'd really like to see flushed out, with all the genetics and everything, send us a message. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of response on that. So if there ever is anyone, if there's gecko people or anything else that really want to get, the genetics in properly, we need that kind of feedback, because, the more time we go and try and investigate all these things on our own, right, we take away from the development, right? And the other things,
or we do it and we do it wrong because, that's not how it's done. And, okay, well, like, it's good to have somebody that's it's in their wheelhouse to say, hey, this is how we I
did bull, but it's difficult too, because I did bull snakes the other day, and I went to Morph Market, and Morph Market has no genetics for bull snakes in, as far as I could tell. So I had to go and find those, and then one of the websites says there's only recessive genetics for bull snakes, and then another website said, well, then there's these morphs, but then I could never find all the morphs, so we had to put in the recessives only, because that's the only thing I could confirm. Right. So it'd be nice to have people that are, in the industry actually giving some of that information back to us.
I will tell my buddy Chris from S Reptilia to get a hold of you on that one, because he does bull snakes, pine snakes, all that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. If we can get that stuff flushed out, I just need like a little spreadsheet of the genetics, right? Whether they're codom or whether they're, recessive, and away we go. We can get them in there. No problem at all.
I'll get a hold of him, and I'll get working on that for you.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Eric, what's up, dude? Eric wants to know, what does the typical page look like for a snake? Eric is one of my good friends. We play Call of Duty together, but Eric, I will show you. Hopefully I can figure this out here. Let me share my screen. Going to husbandry here. Oh, wait. Nope, we don't want to do that. We want to open up a new tab.
We're about to get disconnected.
We almost got disconnected there. That's how tech savvy I am. Let me see here. I'll pull up. Let's just pull up one of the. I'll tease something here a little bit for everybody. Eric, that is what your typical sheet for a snake looks like. Now, everybody notice here, hopefully it's big enough on the screen, but you see that 26 mil? That means we've got baby carpets coming, guys. So,
good stuff.
Yeah, that's basically your activity.
This is the activity. Here's the details of it. Just going over like genetics.
Yeah, I mean, anything that you want, you can add or subtract, and it's pretty awesome. Photos, notes, lineage, breeding data.
Yeah. There's so much here that you can do. And like the lineage, I need to work on that a little bit more. I need to actually just input that stuff. But this girl, I don't really have any lineage on, but my others, I do. So,
Robert, quick question on the lineage.
Yeah.
So if I'm having clutches, you know how when you have the male and the female that's already in your system, and then when you go convert to animals, it basically puts all that in there. Right. Does the lineage come in there too? Is that something else you have to do on top?
Yep, right there.
No. Yeah, it comes in automatically, but you can also override that.
Okay.
Right. So you can go in and type in your own. It pre-fills it when you make the animal, and then you can go and change it if you want.
Okay, cool.
So I just pulled mine up for one of my carpet babies from the 23 season. Yeah, and it's already all input in
And you're
there.
using the chart too, Jeremy?
What do you mean the chart?
Okay, so if you hit lineage tree export on the right hand side,
Down
one,
Up there.
Yep, hit that one. Oh, there you go.
Oh, dude, I didn't even.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you can add all sorts of stuff to that. You can add whatever information you want in the fields up top, and then you can export that PDF. So that's one of the things we're also, that's one of those things that I've got another version of sitting now, where when you do the print, it can actually print out, like a tiled version of sheets, because these things are going to get large eventually. We never needed it until now, right? Because people have only been tracking for a few years in our platform. But then people went back and started adding things. So we want to make that lineage tree really come out nice, where you can do multiple pages and things like that, and put them together to build the nice trees.
And from the carpet community, dude, that's astronomical. Like,
Well,
I know I've talked
lineage
about
is
how you
super
could do
important.
the lineage stuff with it. I've never played with it yet. So
Right.
that was my sneak peek of diving into it. But that lineage tree part there, dude, just wow.
Well, yeah, and that's it.
It'd be nice.
People don't know about stuff. We haven't done, and you know what? Not as part of Zach's job too, is he's going to get out there and let everybody know about a lot of this kind of stuff, right? Because I'll tell you, there's stuff in there. I know Billy uses it on day. I don't even use the software on a daily basis. I use it once a week when I do my feedings. That's all. But Billy uses it on a daily basis, and there's so much stuff in there he doesn't even know it's in there, right? Because we'll add stuff and we'll put it in the change log. So you know what? Everybody should be looking at the change log on a regular basis. And then I'll go back over some tasks that we finished, over the previous 3 months. And, I'll talk to my lead dev and say, hey, how come this wasn't on the change log? And then they'll go update a change log one day, and there's 8 items on it, right, from the last 3 months, and significant items. So you know what? We know we're not doing great in that part of letting everybody know how well everything, how everything works. And that's one of those things that we're focusing on for the new year. Go into these shows, putting up the, come and talk to us and we'll show you how it works, right? That's really how we're going to do it. So, and we need to start doing more, videos. I need to get on this kind of stuff more. So
here's
I need to get back onto my series too. I started off really strong with, and then I kind of babies started coming, and it's just completely derailed me.
Life happens, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the clutches started flying, and it's just like, man, I had like 3 or 4 series I started, and they all just kind of got just stopped all of a sudden. John and Christine, what's up? Triforce Morse. They ask, why does my animal descriptor transfer over to that snake's babies when I convert them?
Because descriptors are in our mind were used as the public version of how you would display it publicly. So it would generally have genes and things like that in it. So like I would put in so if I had a cinnamon pastel pied, I would put in the descriptor pewter pied. Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how it would be on my sales sheets and things like that. So that would kind of transfer over as the default for the animals, because you're assuming you're going to make, just like the genetics transfer over, those transfer over too. If nobody's ever complained about that. And anytime there's something like this, that if you say, hey, you know what, that's a pain in my ass because now I have to go delete them all. Right. We can always make that an option. Right. Transfer, descriptor data to offspring. Yes, no. Right. And then it won't happen the next time. So if it's something that bothers you, you can always open a ticket in the platform and say, you know what, this is irritating. Give us the option. And then we can easily give the option. That's kind of how, that.
I find that for animal ID, like I used to put all the genetics in the ID. Right. So like 16 pastel pied het clown -M1.
Right.
That was my animal ID. Yep. And I see a lot of people, even me, I changed them all now, but so many people use that as the snake ID. Well, right. On Husbandry Pro, it tells you the year of the animal. You type in the sex of the animal. It's all there. And you have a genetic section. So that's why from now on, all my animal IDs are basically the year, the clutch, and the baby number. And right. I've done that. And I would say 85% of my system is like that. Everything prior, I've just left as, 2012 dash cinnamon pied dash F1 or F2.
Right.
Now I don't need that. And then I use the descriptor to like, you know, I don't put lavender, I put lav. I don't put piebald, I put pied.
Right.
OD, YB instead of orange, green, yellow belly. That's what I jam in there. So it is very helpful. But when it does transfer over into your babies, not all of them are the same. So you're always going in there and changing it anyways.
Right.
But you
But
know,
for me, it's adding the default genetics, right? And it's easier to click off than it is to search to add.
And then add each one in.
Exactly, right? So that's why we put all the genetics over for sure, right? Because that's always easier to remove
100%.
than it is to add.
Yeah.
Right. So that was kind of the thought with the descriptor too. But if it's a pain in the ass, let us know and we'll get
I never really thought about it too much, but there have been a few times where I printed off all my cards for like that clutch. And I go through like putting the cards on the bins. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, crap, I forgot to change the descriptor on this one.
Or the descriptor, yeah. I catch myself now, right? Or I print them all out and then I'll do like, 6 or 7 clutches at once. And then I print it out and it's like M, F, M, F, M, U. I'm like, God damn it.
Forgot the sex.
I forget the sex, the animals. I'm trying to put in all the information because I'm trying to get it all done because I always have so many. And I'm like, damn. So I'm ripping off the labels and I put them up because I know I have to go in and change those 6 and print them off again. But yeah, it's something where it's not perfect. There is room for error, but it's human error that fucks it up. And once you get into a rhythm, it's great, and you start doing things a lot easier and like, okay, I got to do this. Let me just double check quick, submit. I mean, at first I was doing one animal and then hitting submit. I'm like, where did they all go? You got to do all the hash things first and then hit submit at the end. I didn't know that, right? So it's like, I'm like, man, this is stupid. And it's like, no, I'm the one that's stupid because I'm not doing it right. But, it just takes that finesse and learning. You get better and better at it. And, it's awesome in so many ways. And there's still stuff that I haven't used, which I'm looking forward to utilizing it and or tweaking it in a way that it works for me.
Yep.
So
I think that's the cool thing about it is that there's so much to it that I think you're always going to be learning something. There's always going to be something that got updated that you didn't catch. And you're still going to be like, learning with it the whole time.
Here you go. Go to your desktop. Go back to your share screen.
Pull this up.
Okay. So you see how you have your menu on your left side?
Yeah.
I have mine at the top. I love it so much more because I get more space. So if you go into your general settings.
No, go to your profile. Go to your profile photo.
Oh,
top
it is
right.
profile. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Top right.
Oh, wait, top right.
Yeah. Click that. Go to layout. There you go.
And then you go down, see it says top navigation. Right there. Yeah, click it on. Now your menu goes across the top.
Oh.
So now you have a more clear spot. Plus you can go in there and certain things like if you're not using your feeders, or you're not using the to-do list, you can go in there and remove that from your menu.
You can remove that stuff.
Which is great, right? So, mine is nice and easy. And nice and clean that works for me and then how I do it. I can also take it where, the scanner part, I can put to the end. I can put, say, the dashboard, at the end and animals first. I can modify what order I want to see the menu in, which is great for me because there's always something that you move. It's almost like your activities. You have the 5 major ones and then I have like 10 or 11 as other. So, I don't have to sit there. And if I'm using one more than the other, why would I open up a page and then have to go find it when I know I'm using it more than and have it in my top 5? So I find that too is very, convenient. It saves time. It's something that it's right there in front of you all the time instead of having to search. So the fundamentals of that is huge for me also. And especially when I have 4 or 5 other people using it. Hey, Billy, where's that thing again? It's like as soon as you see it, it's going to be right there because the people that are in there using it are going to use one of those top 5 because all the other stuff is more, stuff for me. It's just nice and easy and very, you go in here, you click it, then you click this, then you go here. And it's like, what? Oh, and then for this one, you do this and then click here and then click this side instead. It's confusing. Where you scan it, it's right there. You pick one of the top 5. It's very easy, and I love it. And even having the extra users on the system that I can sort of give them what they're allowed to do and what they can't. It's so amazing, because that's how we came up with that, where I'm like, Robert, the system's down again. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, yes, it is. Let me look. And he'd go and he's like, well, you got 3 people with 3 different devices using info@mutationcreation.com.
Same account. Yeah.
You know, it's not us.
Problem.
It's the server saying, hey, you're getting fucking hacked because 4 people from 4 different devices are trying to use the same email at the same time. You know, it's shut down automatically. And he's like, well, you're shutting it down. I'm like, oh, how? So that's why we had to assign different users for under different emails. And we came up with that whole user thing. And it's been flawless, because there'll be 3-4 people using devices, phones, laptops, the actual desktop computers, all at the same time. And the information is like, did you scan that? Yep. I just hit refresh. It's there. It's like, it's amazing. So you can work in unison while someone's using their phone. I'm on the laptop or the portable or the desktop. I've got one in each room. And then I love my laptop walking around. So everybody's utilizing their own device where they feel comfortable using. It just integrates seamlessly. I love it. It's amazing.
I've been finding myself using the laptop end of it a little bit more, during, just for instance, the other night I was feeding. All right, I can't remember some of these babies and stuff are on different days. So I just thaw out how many I'm supposed to thaw out, pull it up the list on the desktop, and I just go through, boom, write down the list off the desktop, because it's a pain in the ass to do it on the phone. The desktop is so much easier with it. So it's like I find myself using the desktop a lot more.
Well, you know what?
I've always been that way.
When it was designed as a desktop platform. Really, that's what it is. And it's always been that way. And we're always going to keep it that way. The problem, or maybe not the problem, is that I think about 80% of the people that start using it as an app only, and only use it as an app. And it's not built to be used just as an app, because there's a lot of stuff to set up. There's a lot of management. There's a lot of it's an enterprise level system. It's not a simple app, right?
Yeah.
So when we first released the app, we called it a companion app, right? In other words, use this when you need to pull something out of your pocket as a companion to do stuff quickly, right? We don't intend this to be used as your management platform all the time, right? Yeah. The buttons are not made for that. The UI is not made for that. But we allow you to do it, right? Is kind of where we're at. And we're at a bit of a cross point right now. Is do we look at doing native real apps, that integrate with it, that are more app-like? And every time I think about that, I think, you know what? Then every time we make a change in the platform, we're going to have to change the apps. Every time, you know what? And
or
it's just yeah, exactly. Our development cycle is going to just grind to a halt, right? So I think as time goes on, we may build another app that is designed to do just some of the basic features and still use everything else in the desktop, but not even have the options in a real app. So just feedings and all the stuff that you would do on a phone, right, is kind of the idea. But then all the e-commerce stuff and all the, heavy lifting is always done on a desktop. Or that in the old app. So that's kind of my thought, is where we may go going forward. But, we have so many things that are just sitting at the precipice of being launched, right? We've got payment systems, right? I know you wanted me to touch on what was coming in development right now. We've got the payment systems are, I've got my guys that have been testing for the last month. So I'll see notifications come on my email every day. Robert has asked you to pay this bill. So basically, our payment systems are going to be, you make an invoice, you send it to your customer, and you say, you know what, you set up a 3-payment plan, right? It's a $900 snake, 3 payments. Your first one's due today. You put in dates when the other ones are due. You hit send. And then at midnight tonight, the first email goes to your customer and says, okay, so $300 due today, pay this invoice. And you've already set up either Stripe, Square, or PayPal. And then the email will go to them. They can choose if they want to pay by credit card or PayPal, whichever you have provided, right? And then they'll click that. They'll go and they'll make their payment. It will notify you. It will notify them. It will mark your invoice $300 paid. And then in 30 days, it will email them again when their next payment is due, whatever you've set up on the schedule. So that is complete. It is done. It is this close to being launched. The testing on it is tedious. And because we wait for the tests to come. We may wait to make sure tomorrow happens, right, properly. We wait to make sure we can make the payment, right, all those kind of things. And then we test it. So we're in what we call live testing right now, where we're using live credit cards to make these tests. I know you should only always do it in just production, and that's what we've done. But we want to make sure, because it's a payment thing, right, we want to make sure that it's done properly. We don't take any money from this, right? You put in your Stripe credentials into the thing, or your Square credentials, or your PayPal credentials right into the platform, and the money never touches us, right? So the transaction is not between us and your customer. The transaction is directly between you and the customer, as if you were taking it on the PayPal site or the Square site or the Stripe site. Either way, we're just giving you a screen to do it on.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's gonna be no fees or anything like that. So you'll be able to run all those payments and everything else through the system. We also have a new store module coming out. So right now it's pretty basic. Do you use the store at all, Jeremy?
I started using the stuff there on Herp Social, like the store there.
Right. So you've got.
I'm really bad at keeping that updated.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing: if you keep your collection updated for what's for sale, and then you turn on your e-commerce features in the platform, you will have your own store. Billy's, I think, is husbandry.pro /store
mutation creation.
So you go there and you see all his animals that he has for sale. So he doesn't have to do any management.
Not at
right?
all.
He just has to have it listed for sale and a price on it.
And I can just turn the tab on, show in store
or not.
And it automatically, it's amazing.
Right. So that animal, so we have, so if you go, so do you have animals for sale right now, Jeremy?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so let's go to your settings. Now you've got your menu.
No, I'm all screwed.
Yeah, exactly. Click at the end there to the right.
Again, to move. That's at the beginning.
Yeah, there. Go to settings.
Commerce. Oh.
Settings.
Yeah. Don't we have to turn it on first, Billy? Oh, no, you do it all from commerce, eh?
Yes, you go to commerce. No, so go back to commerce. 3 over to the left. No, at the top. One more. No, other way. Third party.
Oh, there.
I'll go down to store.
There you go. Yeah.
Click it. And you'll see a tab on or off. See? On vacation. What's that about?
Well, you can turn off your store on vacation if you don't want anybody
if you scroll up a bit, you should see a little tab. Hold on.
I think he's all there, right?
Yeah, but no. Let's see. You'll see a tab where it says, oh, hold on. It says, make sure right there. Down there it says theme. Go down. Theme. Active. Yeah, you're active.
Yeah.
Okay.
And default. So you are active.
Yep. And those 2 animals are in your store. Okay. So go back to the top, Jeremy, and there's a little copy button next to your Warfels morph. See where it says store slug? To the right?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah. So now go and hit the copy button there. There's a little copy button to the right.
Oh.
There, hit that, copy to clipboard, and then paste that into
a new screen.
A new tab. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
So there's your store, right? So we have a full new redesign coming to this, where it looks way better. It looks more like our theme. We also have the ability to buy now on this. So what you would do is you would go and you would click a button and you would buy now. We're working with a couple third parties now too to provide some shipping. Also, we just need to solidify that, and you'll be able to get a shipping quote also at the same time, and then the person would be able to buy now whatever price you have set, and then it would buy the animal directly from you. It's not from us, right? Because it would be, again, your credentials for Striper or Square and PayPal. They could buy now with the shipping included, everything else. We'll eventually be able to print the label for the shipping box too, all that kind of stuff. So that will all be, the buy now part is ready to go. So we just have to finish that testing too, because it's kind of married with the other payment system I was talking about earlier. But those are a couple of the really big features that we have sitting, waiting, right, ready to go imminently. So that'll be coming out soon.
And next time you're on your store, Jeremy, when you're on your commerce on your store, if you hit the cog wheel, it'll give you your visitor number. So today, I was wondering, because I had like 8 sales today online. I'm like, what? And I just looked today. I had 99 visitors to my store, and I had eight sales. In the last 7 days, I've had 1,702. And in total, since having a store, I've had 70,916 hits, which is cool. So it tells you, right, like how much traffic's going there. But then I also have it on my website. I have Morph Market link in there. Sometimes I'll do things like, hey, everybody, go to this, or I'll make a post. Hey, I got new stuff dropped. Here's my link. Just like Robert showed you, you copy it and people go there and they see everything that's there. And the reason why it's there, because I just have it in there. I have the animal, the pictures, the price, and then I just turn it in store or out of store. And it's amazing.
And it doesn't cost anything to do. You know what I mean? It's like, and it doesn't cost any extra effort, right? It doesn't cost any extra effort, because really if your animal is for sale or not, you know it in your head, right? All you need to do is check the box, make sure it has a picture and a price, and you're done. And it'll be on your store. Not only that, is it will be picked up by the search engines because it's public, right? So it creates proper slugs, SEO, friendly slugs, right? So those will be picked up on the internet. So not only using your store has an immediate benefit to you possibly making a connection to sell an animal that's on there today, but you can mark your animal sold and still have it there. And then it will still create links, SEO friendly links on the internet going forward. Right. So if somebody's looking for something in 2 years for an animal you had 2 years ago, it's still going to be there, still going to be searchable. They may find you and see something else they like. So really it's about link building too. And it's about all that kind of stuff that we should be doing as, really we need to sell snakes, right? We're all business people too, right? So that's what we're trying to help you do, right? Give you the tools to do that.
Ken Hunger has a question.
Sure.
See, I was going to get to Ken's. Hold on 1 second though, Billy. Ashley, 1, thanks for being a channel member. 2, hopefully you remember to use my partnership link. Before we dive into Ken's question to Billy, I got to run a couple sponsor ads real quick, or the sponsors will hang me because I'll see them this weekend.
Sounds good. 100%, man. You got to give love to the sponsors.
You got to give love to the sponsors. All right, let's run a couple sponsors ads so that way we can go on to another nice long spiel here, everybody.
Gettysburg Reptile Expo, LLC is located at the All-Star Event Complex in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's a 45,000 square foot venue with 125 plus vendors and top quality breeders, along with 270 plus tables. If you're looking for a python, boa, colubrid, gecko, lizard, or amphibian, you've come to the right place. Doesn't matter if you're a breeder looking for that missing piece to your project or a pet owner looking for your next scaly friend, Gettysburg Reptile Expo LLC has you covered. Need an incubator or rack system? They have you covered with sea serpents set up there to meet all your needs. The next show dates are November 11th of 2023, March 23rd, and July 20th of 2024. Show times are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure to check them out on their website, Instagram, and Facebook. Mark your calendars because this is one show you don't want to miss. So I'll see you at Gettysburg Reptile Expo LLC. Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Make sure you check out Chris at S Reptilia. If you're looking for a ball python, boa, colubrid, blood python, he is the guy to go to. He's also a rat breeder on the eastern side of PA, and he is Pennsylvania's distributor of Coco to Go and the Chipper, which is by far the best cocoa substrate on the market today. So make sure you go ahead and check them out. If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you, you will not regret it.
All right, now
Ooh.
we'll save the others here for a little bit later, folks. But let's get into Ken's question here. What do you guys think about rack views displaying name or ID along with weight in or under the name?
It does display. I have ID, or I use ID. So
I was gonna say, let me go to my thing here real quick.
But I think if you add the weight, it's just it'd be
that'd be a lot of information trying to fill in there.
Yeah, the weight is on the hover there. Yeah, trying to put a second line on that is back to our make it mobile friendly or keep it desktop only friendly, right? So it's back to that same problem, right? We want a decent sized button there, and once you start putting little tiny things on there, it becomes a bit of an issue. I think it's something we're looking at again too, right? We're looking at other ways to display this information. Possibly in tabs for the different racks, maybe a different scroll mechanism, things like that. But we haven't had too many concerns or complaints about the rack view. Everybody seems to like that one. So we may have got that one almost right on the first shot.
So I love the way the rack view is, the way it sits.
Right.
Basically, I mean, the other thing is if I had, once I find that animal, obviously I'm probably going to be looking at something on that animal, so I'm going to be clicking on it or go up and scan the QR code.
Do you know what we could do? We could put a filter at the top of that, allowing you to filter and then apply that filter, and it would change the box color or border color based on that filter. So then you could get a picture of your rest. So let's say you want to find every animal over 1,200 grams, filter that, and then each box would be highlighted if the animal is over 1,200 grams or it's a female over 1,200 grams, so to feed necessarily those boxes. We can do that kind of stuff. That'll help you, quick glance that information.
One thing is on that. So instead of the filter, or maybe we can do it filter. But remember I said I would like to see if animals are sold.
Mm-hmm.
That we could actually go and have like a red button. So how there's like male, female, non-specified.
Right.
Sold, or if we could add one. So now I want to have red as sold, because red to me.
So
now when I do sold, all the ones will come up that are sold, so I know where they are, or something like that. Or
just like the memorized filter, the save and applies that we do for those making the groups. We could do the same thing on the rack, and then apply that filter, changes box colors too, and then you specify the color, right? And then you could apply it quickly, make those pills and apply it quickly. And my pen doesn't work, so I can't write that down. So let me grab a pen.
Because anything like that visually, it's so much more efficient than what I've ever had in the past, and it's like, man, this is amazing. Saves me so much time, and it's easier. Now I want to be even more lazier.
You know what? That's actually a really good idea. And then to take it one step further, even I know for me, for instance, I had several animals just due to, the Christmas holiday. I had 3 or 4 animals sitting here just to ship out.
Mm-hmm.
If on that sold aspect, if you can make a note and you could type in who it was sold to, that might also be something a little handy as well.
So yeah, we can do searches that way. I just try to think of how many people would need to search for an animal, multiple animals that are sold to one person, right? Is kind of the question, right? I don't know how many times that, because you don't want to, because it's really going to be one animal most of the time, right?
Normally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you have multiple animals that are going out to different people,
to the person,
if you can somehow market, kind of put their name to it, so that way when you go to that animal, hey, all right, I got to go ahead and ship.
Right.
Go over, click on that animal. It already tells you who bought it, so that way you know where to go to on your Morph Market or wherever
Right.
And
But what I do
it
for
might
that,
save a little time. I don't know.
yeah. So what I do for that is like most of my shipments, like the last 2 shipments I had to the U.S., I used 2 different brokers, and there was over 250 animals on those 2 shipments, and they went to multiple people. So what I do is, instead of being active in my Husbandry Pro, I have them as sold. So now when it's like, okay, now I have to go and ship these animals out, I click, from active to sold, and it brings up the 253 people or the animals. So now I know that these ones here. So for me, it'd be nice to have them in the rack, because we're running around. We label them with little stickers. So it's like, okay, we got to find 253. Well, here's one, here's one, here's one. It's like, we're missing 3, and we're trying to look around the room. I got 9.5 foot looking around, and I'm getting my glasses like, Austin, is there any, so we're trying to look for them. So that's why for me, if I know they were sold, I can look, it's like, oh, there's still 2 more in this rack. I know where to go to.
Yeah.
I guess big breeder problems, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Exactly.
oh, really, man? Okay. But I mean, so at least now when I go, I can go to my sold right now and tell you how many animals that I have that are on payment plans or that have been paid in full but can't go out until April when I'm allowed to ship to the US. So, that keeps adding up. So prior to, if I know I'm going to be shipping in a couple of weeks, I go and I get that list of all those animals, and I start writing who they go to, and basically, if it's going into a small deli or a large deli or a bag. So I already have that information before. I'm not doing it on the day. Oh shit! Like, give me a small deli. No, give me a medium. I already sort of have it pre-planned to make my, shipping day smooth as possible.
Yeah.
The only thing I really have a problem is trying to find out, like, nope, it should say this person's name on it. No, it's not in this room. It's like, where is it? So we're looking around different rooms for this animal. So, but
Charlie here has a question. Is there a way to look at all your POS hats at once?
So I saw your chat, Holly. I saw your chat. I just didn't get to it. I was on my phone, and I keep trying to type on my phone. I believe, Billy, I think you would use this more than I would. I think you can just hit your filter. Actually, I don't think it'll do it if it's a genetic. Do you have your POS in your descriptor? Because if you have the word POS in your descriptor and you do a search for POS, then it will show everything in your descriptor.
Yeah, if you type in 50% het,
right, it'll pull up 50%.
But not all. You'd actually have to put in. So if you go into animals, go to list.
Yeah, this has me all screwed up now.
Yeah, I change it back.
So go to list view. No. You see, no. So if you go over, see it says designer view in the purple.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
that's the list. This is how, or table view.
Designer.
Table view.
Table.
So what I do is, this is how I do all my fundamentals. So you see how you go search. So you type in search 50% het pied.
I don't even know if I have any 50% het pods.
Yeah, so and that way it should pop up. No, it doesn't. And
yeah,
then
but if you remove your pied, it'll still pull up the het, whatever you've got.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, het. So then that should pull up anything that is.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So that animal is. So yeah, you can filter that way. The other thing that I would suggest, Holly, would be to tag all your animals that are POS. Make a tag for them when you create them, and then you can use that tag to filter, because tags are really underutilized. I think they should be used more, because if you've got groups of anything, adding one tag to all those animals allows really easy searching and really easy manipulating later on. So that's really kind of the design for that part of things. But yeah, that's how I would do it. I don't know that filtering for POS, because you can use the word POS, but 50% is also POS, and so is 66% is also POS, right? So we had these conversations about what really makes sense and what doesn't. So we did go 50, 66,
which I like so much better.
Right.
So
and which
the
most
only
people
reason I use POS is because of the fact that I haven't proved out a 50 or a 66% left yet, and I've had babies. So I put those as POS.
So they're like 25%.
Yeah.
Right.
Or yeah, I mean,
or
so I
12 and a
put
half.
those as POS.
Right.
And then if one of the animals
Sure.
that it came from does prove out, now I know it's 50% or 66, depending on the pairing.
Makes sense.
After Ken, we have Jason Philp throwing some hate at HP, but I agree with him.
I didn't see
missed that one.
I agree with him, man. He's right on.
Been using HP for a while now and love it, but third-party data integration from spider webs and sensor push is awful and needs some love.
It does. It really does, man. Like,
all I need to know is, what do you hate about it? Because really, how many people use it? I don't even know. You know,
that's why I haven't bothered you, because you'd be like, Billy, do you know how many people, like, you know?
I don't know. Like, I have it set up.
I have 37 Herpstat Spiderweb 2s running.
Right.
And mine's a mess, and it's just like, what the? So I you know, some of them are on, some of them are, I don't even bother. I'm like, I'll just leave it. I don't want to bug Robert because I know there's more important things to do, but it does need some love.
Jason, my email is robert@husbandry.pro. So if you can tell me what you hate about it, I would love to hear it, because we'll just make another screen and get it right. So, because we really want to get it all right.
Listen, I never even really thought about it. I mean, I just always checked every once in a while to see what temps we're sitting at, and it's like, all right, we're good. We're where we need to be on it.
Well, that's the thing. So you set up sensor push or the spider webs, and it'll notify you via text. I think we have push notifications too when the temperature deviates a certain percentage. So, you know, it's I don't know why anybody wouldn't do that.
I think you get a text and an email, if I'm not mistaken.
You could. Well, you can set it up that way.
Yeah,
and I think we have push notifications too. But yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, I don't know, if you have that equipment, might as well set it up, right? It's free for breeder accounts.
Yeah.
It's not on the smaller accounts though. Some people aren't on breeder accounts. I'm surprised how many people.
So I love the breeder account. That was actually one of the selling points to the breeder account. In all honesty, it was the ability to link the spider webs to that.
Yep. You know what? I think the biggest feature that I am shocked that doesn't get more love is the whole, you know, print the QR codes to take to shows. Right.
Yeah, I don't see how people don't do that. Like, it's a no-brainer, saves time, saves money. Well, it's an amazing interaction with the client. When was this born? I'm not sure. Here you go. Here's the parents. It's phenomenal.
Right. And you know what? The thing is, Billy, and I don't know if we discussed it yet. We have an event. I think I told you, we have an event checkout or an event system coming. So what you'll do is you will make an event, right? So let's call it the Gettysburg Reptile Expo. You will select the animals that are going to the event, right? You will then, 2 buttons at the bottom. One is print price list. So it'll print you a price list of everything you're taking with you to the show. And then the other button is print QR codes. So it'll print all your QR codes for those animals. And it'll leave them in a checked out state. So they are gone with you to the expo. So now when you're at the expo,
out of your inventory system.
Yeah, well, it's still in your inventory, but it's considered checked out right now.
So instead of active, it would be like,
no, we're not going to change the names just in case you forget to check them back in.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
We're it's kind of just a separate management. So it's a list, right, that you've made. These are all the animals that are gone. Now, when you're at the show, you can do one of two things. Somebody comes up to your thing and they scan the QR code. It pulls up their thing, price and everything else. They say, hey, I want to buy this. You can say to them, hey, what's your phone number? And then what you do is you fill out the invoice online. Well, you don't even have to do that. So you go to your invoicing, you type in their SMS or their email, whatever they give them. So their phone number or their email, and you hit send. And then your screen starts doing this little spinny deal, waiting for them. They will get a text or an email where they click that button and they fill out their name, their phone number, their address, all that kind of stuff. You're bagging the animal right now, right? They hit submit. You look back at your screen after they hit submit. It's filled out their invoice with all the information they put into it. So you don't have to sit there and type all this crap at the show. Then because it was for a specific animal, that's all filled out already. And then they give you the money, you hit submit, and it emails them a copy of the invoice. It emails them the link to the data that you want to transfer to them. It then takes it out of the checked out of your inventory because it was in your event system. It takes it out of that list, marks it as sold in your platform. And then when you get back to the shop, you don't have to do any more paperwork on that animal. You don't need to find anything later on or anything else.
Done.
You can now just go and say, okay, these are the animals that are left. Check them all back in. Close off the event. You'll see how many sales you made at the event.
Wow.
Right? So in the future, you can then go back and say, oh shit, the Gettysburg Expo at the beginning of the year sucked. I sold 2 snakes. I'm not doing that one again. Right? So you're going to have this historical data of every event that you went to selling animals, right? With all the information of the animals you took, which ones you sold. So going forward later on too, you're going to be able to pull reports that if you, let's say you do 10 or 15 or 20 shows a year, what's actually selling? What's selling great? What's not selling great? You're going to be able to pull up that information based on what show it sold at, right? So we're really investing heavily in breeders going forward.
So that's for cash.
What's
right?
that?
That's for a cash transaction.
No, but because you can send them
where it hooks right up to their PayPal and
you can send that invoice and have them pay right there at their phone too. Yeah, and then that'll finish the transaction.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it goes right into your account and you're done. Right. So I don't know how we can make something like that any easier than it is. Right. Just to do your show. How long does it take people to prep for their shows? I'm thinking this is going to streamline your paperwork process down. And how much is that worth? $18 a month? I think it is.
Oh yeah.
Right. So those are the things we're looking at. Right.
I'll tell you one thing. I bring, at least 100+ animals every show.
Yep.
And when I do have to print them, I used to use the label makers, the Brother. It costs $30 for a roll. You put it in, you type out all the names and the genetics, and I never put the price or male or female. I would do that with the markers or have a separate price, because if I change the price, I don't want to have to change the whole damn label that I just made. Super pastel, orange dream, yellow belly, cinnamon. And you can't just you have to put the names for everybody, right? And then I'd put male, or I'd do it in the price with a sticker or with a marker. But when I'm printing out labels 6 inches a piece or 5 inches, and you do that, and you go print and it prints out, and it gets to the last one, and then it screws up the last because the bars come out. End of roll. It's like, damn, I got to redo this one. And then you're cutting, and then you're peeling, and then you're sticking. Oh, it's too long. So I got to, I'll cut off the het pied, and I put the top on and the het pied underneath. And after I do that, I'm gone through $60 worth of these Brother stickers, labels, and never mind all the cutting. Here I go to Husbandry Pro. And then on top of that, I still got to put it on. I still got to find male. I still got to write in the price. Husbandry Pro. What am I taking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. I just click the ones I want, hit print. I select I have a pre-made label where it's for my show or my expo, or I have it for my facility. So I just chose expo tag, done, select the animals, print. It prints off a sheet. I go over, bam. It's got the QR code. It's got the price. It's got the thing. It's all there. The genetics. I don't have to, or the worst, when you screw something up, because if it's on your Husbandry Pro, it should be spelled right because you're looking at it. When you go and do this, you're doing it quick, and it's like sending in with 2 N's or 3 N's. Like, damn it, I got to do this one again. It just click, done, print, label, done. And it also has when people walk up and scan. Now it's like, I don't know how many times, when you saw, 5, 6, 7, 8 animals at a show, people say, when was it born? When was the birth date? I'm like, well, see that ID? Send me an email in a couple days with that ID, and I'll look it up. Like Robert said, now I'm going back. I did 8 sales, and I'm like, please don't all like people. Usually get half. Hi, I bought Cupcake, and when was, I want to know when it was born. Here's the ID. Now I got to go and I look in my Excel sheets where the hell it was. Here it is here. Here's the clutch. It was born on this date. Now I got a message back. Eliminated now because they can scan it. I don't even have to do anything. I'm like, see your phone? Scan the QR code with your photo or your camera, And then you hit the thing and it brings up everything. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. The parents and everything's there. So it saves time. It's phenomenal. It's professional.
I
and
can't
the
imagine
engagement is unreal.
You know what? I was talking to, I'm not going to name him, but one of the larger gecko breeders when I was at Pomona. And I asked him how he goes about selling the animal. So he lifted up a deli cup and he said, this is my ID. It's this dash 9821. So that means this animal was the 9,821st animal we produced this year. And I'm like, oh, I was a little shocked because he just randomly grabbed that. It's not like he grabbed the highest number, right? So this was number for last year, his 9,821st. So I said, so what is the whole process for selling? And then he goes and he grabs his book and he shows me this book and he says, well, these are all the ones we sold. And here's the ID that I have on the bottom for all the ones we sold. Now, when my staff goes back to the shop, they take this and they create the invoices and they do this and they mark it out as sold and they blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I said, how long does that take? And he said, well, it depends on which show it is. It could take, 3 hours. It could take 3 days, right? I don't know. But the fact of the matter is with what we're about to launch is all that could happen on the fly with no extra time, right? So what is 3 days of staff worth to somebody, right? Or even 3 hours of staff, right? Worth to somebody, right? So that's, that's kind of a focus, where we're going is to try and save people, time also, which is money, right? At the end of the day, right? And that's the only way we're going to keep subscriptions, really.
I like it because it sets me apart. It's there. It's easier. If people are buying something from you and you can't answer, when was it born? What was it like? And some people at certain parts of the day, especially if it's a shitty show, someone's coming and it's like, when was it born? It's like, you're like, I don't know. Like, who cares when it was born? Like, you never know what someone's attitude is at some point. Here, it's like, well, you know what? I mean, I'm not sure. I have so many animals that we breed, but if you just take your phone and scan it, and they're like, wow, oh my God, they got more than they even asked for. And then there's like, wow, you track this? And it just seems like your game is at the top. And that's where I want to be because that's where I've always tried to aim. And it's just one extra level of nobody else, unless they're a Husbandry Pro user. They can go to any other table. I don't care how fancy their design or their labels are. It doesn't do what fucking HP does. Next level, And
the only thing I've noticed though at shows, because there's 3 of us in our group that do it, that use the Husbandry Pro for like show purposes. There's a lot of people, they don't even pay attention to the tags. And I use my cage cards. Like I'd have Velcro on the back of my cage cards. I have a piece of Velcro on the display cases, just stamp, slap it right on there. Quick, easy, it works. And there's a lot of people like they go up, oh, well, what, like you said, when was it born? When did it last eat? And I'm just there like, you got to keep a smile on face, but you're just saying, it's like, just scan the QR code. Just scan the QR code.
You really need a little sign on top that says scan the QR code for all this snake's information.
Yeah,
right?
That's one way I engage people because I have a large booth and I'll just sit there and it's like, hey, everybody, if you have any questions, just scan the QR code with your camera on your phone and it'll answer anything that you need and then some. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. And sometimes you're going to walk over and you show somebody with your phone. And, oh, my God, that's cool. And then everybody's standing beside's like, oh, my, what do I do? What do I do? Next thing you know, you just got people walking over with phones and they're like, oh, my God, this is so cool. The feedback is phenomenal. And you know what? No one else has it.
Yeah. You got 2 questions. Jeremy. And I got to get to Ken's because I know I promised him several times that I would get him some information. But we'll hit this other one that apparently I didn't answer a ticket for, or somebody didn't answer a ticket for.
So Mrs. Snake says, hey, guys, I put in an inquiry to put the switch button in the racks view. Didn't really get any more info following.
Okay, so... Yeah, so I'm not sure what that is. So if you can retype kind of what that question is, I can address it. But I will say that we get, with all the users that we have, we get a lot of tickets, suggestions, all the way from, how to use something all the way to, what would be awesome. And we don't, if your ticket's open or put to featured, that means we've got it. We've read it. We read all tickets like as soon as they come in, but we don't necessarily act on them right away. Sometimes we put them off because it may be related to something else. We're doing it another time, or I don't have a developer to look at it right now. It's not a high priority item, things like that. So we do put some things aside, but I can probably answer a question as soon as, or if you type it, and then I can get to that for sure. Now it's probably easier. But Ken is, there's Ken's question. So Ken, let me apologize. I know I've said it a couple times. I will make a video, and I actually have video on my phone of me scanning and me hitting NFC tags. So an NFC tag, just so everybody understands, is basically a small tag, and we have an epoxy one that we sell. But you can actually just go on to Amazon. We have a few different ones listed where you can just buy the NFC tag from Amazon. I think you can get 50 of them for $10 for one of the models that we suggest. And what happens is every animal has a QR code, right?
Yep.
But you can also now assign an NFC tag to an animal. So what you would do is you would put the NFC tag on the bin, and then you would go to your animal, and then you would turn on the NFC and hit, save or whatever it is. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but there's a button you press, and then you hold your phone up to it. And what it does is it registers that tag to that animal. So now every time you scan that tag, it gets the animal. So now your bin can now have a QR code on a label and an NFC tag, or you don't need the QR code anymore on the label. And the reason we did the NFC option is, if you've ever noticed, you can turn on the camera for Husbandry Pro and just kind of glance aside the other side of your room, and it'll pick up a QR code from the other side of the room. So many times I've just gone up and bam, it's looking at an animal all of a sudden, because it's just really sensitive. So, which is great. Everybody wants that. That's, we got that right. But it created another problem where, unless you're, kind of focused and kind of holding it right and everything else, you're not hitting that QR code.
I scoop my phone like this when I pick it up.
Exactly. Yeah, you hold it over and then open up.
It, and then I do this, and then it's good.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
right.
all we
So
do that. This, right? To lift it up, and next thing you know, it's like, I didn't hit anything. What the hell? And I'm looking, I'm like, wow, that was like 4 tubs down. And I'm like, so
we're really, I'm starting to really love this thing. This is one of those 2D scanners, right? And this version here, you can actually get a clip that attaches it to the back of your phone, so you can point it right at the QR code, and bam, bam. It's really, and when you press the button is when it actually does the read. So it won't read when you're moving up and down or all over your room. So you have your phone in your pocket, or your laptop across the room, and you go bam. So the reason we have the NFC, back to that, is because of that QR being a little bit, Wild West sometime. You can now take your phone and just tap it to the back of the phone to the NFC tag. So I personally use NFC tags through my whole collection. And the way I do things is I will feed, and then I will turn on quick activities, and I will just go bam, bam, bam. And it's really that fast. It's hold it, hold it, hold it. So I'll do my rack. I'll do whatever animals. And I generally am feeding 40 to 60 animals at a feeding. And I'll just do that. And it's super fast. I don't have to look up the animal or anything else. I just do it that way. I don't really use the rack view and stuff like that, because I move some stuff around sometimes. But I'll go ahead and just tap these things, and I'll make my list and submit that way. It's a lot quicker than trying to scan a batch of animals, unless you go with something like this, and this will do it too. This is really nice if you do it that way. So that's kind of the difference between the NFC and the QR. We do have another feature now that I think about it coming out, called flow codes, is what I've called them. And what it'll allow you to do is it will allow you to make a couple codes. So you make a code called start, and you'd make a code called stop, and then you'd make a code for what activity happened. So you would start, and then your phone is going to be in flow code mode, Wow, that's a
Flow
mouthful.
code
I just made that up too. That sounds great.
Alamo.
So yeah, I need that as the tagline. So what you'll do is you'll scan on, then you'll scan animal, then you'll scan feed. And it's done. Animal, feed, animal shed, animal water, animal. So doing it that fast, you'll be able to create custom flow codes. So you'd be able to create a code. And the reason we're doing it this way is another gecko breeder, another big gecko breeder, will get up on a stool and he'll scan a code, or he right now he uses a really old software, 20-year-old software. He'll scan the code, and then he'll scan a number 2 QR code that they made, or a barcode actually that they made specifically for him. And that'll add 2 eggs to his incubator right away. Right. So it adds a whole clutch by just scanning one time. So we're developing this system to allow you to create complex results from your scan. So you'll scan, the animal, then you will have created before a complex kind of, what I want to happen when you scan this code, I want you to create an incubator, I want you to create a reproduction activity of 2 eggs, and I want you to use the next ID in line for the clutch. And bam, it creates the clutch. You are done. Move on. Right. That's awesome. So we're making these QR code, and you know what? Whatever you can think of, we're going to allow you to make a QR to create all that activity, right? Like pairing, we can make you a pairing QR that automatically posts who the default male that you already have to that animal. So you would be able to scan, animal pairing, and it would make the record completely with 2 scans. You don't have to touch a keyboard. You don't have to touch anything.
That's sick.
And we're going to make it so you can build these complex flow codes to do just more things quicker, in your facility. So that's another big feature we've got coming out soon.
One thing that I liked at the big CRBE in September, which is our big expo, our 2-day expo, I actually had the QR codes eliminated. I used to have the QR codes on my ARS displays. I just had the NFC with the Husbandry Pro symbol, and they're, like you said, they're embossed or they're glazed, so you can get them wet. That you can touch them. They're shiny. So they're there. Once you put them on, they're great. One thing I like about that is it's programmable. So if I make a price adjustment, which I would or a genetic adjustment or anything on that animal, I do it on my system. And then once it's complete, all I do is, change the price, hit it, tap it. It's now automatically done. If I have to make a change or a price on the stickers, now I got to go in, do the same thing, go print it out, take off the old one, put on the new one. I loved it. People would walk up and with a Samsung, you have to touch the middle at the back. With an iPhone, you sort of tap it right on head on, because the NFC is here on an iPhone and iOS, and here. So you would have to do this or do this.
Right.
It's great. It pops up. It worked fine. I have no stickers, no markers, no crap. The thing that I had is in my displays, I have a lot of high-end stuff and not for sale, and some other decent people would come up, and of course, oh, this is so nice. $20,000. What about this one? $8,000. No, this table's too rich for me, and they walk off. Well, you don't realize that you have some other ones. So Andrew from Powerhouse Pythons, he came up and he looked at it and he goes, man, these are amazing. I want to get it, but I am going to put a price tag on them as well in the corner, so that people aren't going to sit there and just, because you're going to go to your eye candy. Like if you don't know anything about cars, and we put you in a car lot, you're going over to the Lambos and the fluorescent color. Wow. $500,000. Like, what the for a car? What? They can't grasp it. Oh, what do you have? 50,000. Well, here's the Toyotas and the Hondas, and but those are so, it really throws them off. So by doing it, it was a test for me. It worked amazing. The engagement, people were like tapping their phone without doing the camera. And it was like, wow, they were blown away. So I got 100% thumbs up. But as another vendor, seeing and witnessing, it's like, oh, these are too much. Like, he's going to do the same thing, but put prices on them with another label or something or what have
Yeah.
you. Or you could even do the option of printing off the label too and having both options, you know, and people with the QR code but I like having a clean one, because what sucks is when we do one every month or two, and I sold some animals, you got to peel it off and you got to get the goo gone and you got to wipe it. You know, here, I don't have to do any of it. It's you know, they're rewritable over and over and over.
The other thing the other thing that is in incubation right now is we have selling features happening, which I don't even remember what we called this feature, but it allows you to, let's say it's a 2-day show. Your first day, everything's fine. You didn't sell that many. Your second day, you want to run a special. Well, you don't need to run through and change all of your prices. You can actually implement your second price list as your store pricing for the weekend. So you could then turn on, you know, a 25% off discount. So when they scan, everything that they see will have the regular price and then the discounted price below that, what you could have it for now. We also have a spin wheel thing that is super popular with, you know, a sales tactic. You scan it, you get a spin wheel. You can you can set this wheel up how you want.
No
you know,
way.
10% off, 20% off. They spin the wheel, they get the offer, you show it to Billy, and Billy says, yeah, you get 20% off. Bam, away you go. Right. So kind of those incentive things that we're doing. We have it where you get to spin the wheel if you put in an email address, and then you would get the email, not us. It would be for your own marketing later on. So those are kind of a lot of
by HP.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So those are the things that we're doing. We've even got, you know what, and then we sit there just like the link tree. We said, you know what, the spin wheel thing is good for marketing for somebody at a show. We know people run contests and they go and they do the big wheel and they do these contests. Well, we actually have a page coming out for you to run your own contests, right? Through a wheel that says Husbandry Pro on it and operates just like those big wheels out there that you can go now. So again, we have the technology to do it. Why not add this as a feature for our users to be able to, it's all about marketing as far as we're concerned. It's all about selling. It's all about all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're about care, but now that we've got all your tools that you need to do care, we're looking at the marketing and the expanding how you sell your animals, where you can sell your animals, right? And all that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're heading to.
This is what she was about the switch button.
Yeah, what I mean is when I move 2 snakes from bin to bin, I have to remove the first one, add the second one. Can't you just? I thought you could just slide it over.
I see. I think I can just drag mine from.
Yeah. So
and
what
it removes it.
I wish, okay, because when I have like say animals for sale, right? I have like 4 racks with 300 animals.
Oh.
So when I take 8 or 9 out, I've got to sit there and move 300. It'd be nice where you can hit a button and it just automatically moves them into the right order, you know.
So I understand this switch question. So you select 2, click switch, and it switches the 2 animals, because really what they're doing is moving. They're just switching positions of 2 animals. So that's kind of.
But how many people would ever do that? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like,
why are you switching 2 animals from 2 different racks?
Right. So that's kind of the question.
Or maybe they're thinking about being able to move it from hatchling rack to like, you know, from a 1065 to a 5540 or whatever.
But then all you do is
dragging it, you can just, it's just another way instead of just
all I
dragging
do, if that's the case, so if I'm moving around, I'm upgrading from my hatchling rack to my sub-adult rack, I just go to the sub-adult rack that's obviously empty because I'm moving it. I'll click on it and I just type the animal in and it says this animal is in this place. Do you wish to move it? If you hit yes, it takes it out of the old rack and automatically puts it in the new rack.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So yeah. So if I'm doing that, so what I have is in my hatchling, my little mini 130. It's actually a 170, but in my mini series ARS, once they're big enough, they hit 250, 300 grams. I either put them in my whole back room or I put them in my for sale racks. Okay. So what I do is I'll go and I'm like, oh, I got 16 spaces here. So I count out 16 animals. I move them over. I just grab them in the right order from numerical order. Then what I do is they're already in this rack. So instead of deleting them there and then going in, I just go to the new rack and I bring my laptop and I go, read me the ID on the very first one. Go in here, add. Do you wish to move it? Yes. Then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Then I go to this rack here, and now I've got to move. So when I go to the view of this rack of the mini rack, all those spots now are deleted.
Yeah.
So then what would now I have to do? I have to drag everyone up all over. And if I have 170 per rack, and I usually do the first one, I've got to do 170 moved in this rack, 170 in this rack, and then 100. So I'm doing
Billy problems.
170 times.
Billy problems.
Yeah.
Billy problems.
Yeah. But it'd be nice just to, now it's there, hit a button and they automatically switch in numerical order. And then it would lead me the 15 at the very end instead of me moving 500. But it's a Billy problem,
Exactly.
But,
Nathan asked just a question. I just wanted to get this out of the way. It's a EYOYO EY039. Oh shit! How are we gonna do this? There we go.
Let me hold on here.
Are you gonna be able to zoom into that? Oh shit! Can you even see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see it, but it's shaking.
I can't read it though.
You can't read it. Yeah, you can't read it. Okay. Well, you can email me, robert@vdk.ca. It's a EYOYO, and then the model is EY-039.
Ready, Robert?
What?
You're gonna say that after I say this. Ready?
Okay.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
EYOYO.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
We're going to start be ready, folks, for the 2024 Christmas album.
That's not going to sell.
Well, everybody gets one as a partner. As a partner deal, that's everybody's Christmas present this year. Christmas album from Billy and Robert.
So Ken's asking too on Animal List, where can you filter? So it doesn't do payment plans or breeder loans, but if you go, you'll see it should say active or all. So on your Animal List, in the top right corner, you'll see Animal List. Of your Animal List, it'll say active, all, sold, hold, archived, and then you just select that and it'll bring up all the animals, because I don't ever use all. I always use active, inactive,
right.
Sold or on hold or
Yeah, and if you want one that, creators like payment plan, you know what you would do, I think, in those is you would probably set a tag and then you could tag them, right? Because if it's a breeder loan, you probably want some other information in there anyway. Just tag it as a breeder loan and then use your tags for your filters. Same with one that's sold on a breeding plan. When you sell it, just add a tag to it and then use the tag. Just because I don't know that there's, going to be a need to filter for a bunch of breeding plan animals, right? If you set them with tags, use the tag. I think we really need to talk about the tag system more.
Yeah.
Because really you can tag anything with anything and you're good.
What I do with the breeding loan.
Yep. So
that animal that someone's giving me to breed, I don't have in my system. So I add that animal ID, I put in as the ID, say Robert-1.
Oh, so Robert, you know whose it is.
Yeah, so I know who it is. So if somebody's asking me for that, like I do with Chris Ward, I do it with, Nasty Morphs. So it'll say Nasty, 1-2-3-4. So all I do is go in and type Nasty. All their animals come up.
Right.
Because that makes sense. To input that into my system. I have to give it an ID. I think we talked about it before. What would be nice is if, when I'm doing a breeding loan, say Robert gives me his female, it's in my facility. I'm scanning it. I'm feeding it. I'm ultrasounding it. That's all going in my records. Even though I type in notify Robert, his email, he'll get notifications. But all that is on my system. Now, when I give that animal back to you, you have 6 months or 8 months of nothing on that female because it's in my records. It'd be nice for you to transfer the animal to me if I could.
So one of those things that is sitting there waiting for me to approve is shared animals. right? So that's how those will work, right? So basically, I'll say I'm going to share this animal with Billy. I don't care where it is right now, but I know it's shared with Billy. So now, from this date forward, everything that Billy does with this animal shows up in my system. Everything I do with this animal shows up in both our systems, right? So it's a two-way share, right?
Awesome.
So then when you're done sharing that animal, you disconnect Billy because I got the animal back. So he no longer gets updates on that animal. Billy can then choose to remove it from his system if he wants, because he's only got feeding data and other data for the time that he had that animal.
Pairing,
right?
locks.
Exactly. He's only got that amount of data. He doesn't have all the previous data.
But I wouldn't want to delete it. I'd want to archive it because I need that for my hatchlings.
Exactly. So yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly.
Those hatchlings, right?
Absolutely. So then you keep that animal as archived. You can still use it as parents and your lineage and everything else, and you're good to go. So yeah, paired or shared animals is there. It's just, again, another one of those. I've been away from testing heavy stuff for about 3 weeks now or a month. It's just backlog. So it's just a matter of getting those pushed out in final testing.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I don't even know if many people know. If you go on Husbandry Pro and your animal list, choose any animal, and you go to the very bottom right, and if you look, it'll say notify. And it's always defaulted off, obviously. If you turn it on, it brings up email and then everything that you want to notify that person of. And it gives you defecation, this, that. I always choose pairing. I don't, they know I'm feeding it. So I don't really, at this level, I don't keep track. So non-feeding, pairing, follicular development, what do you call it? Copulation, and also reproduction.
Right.
So that way, that's all they need to know. So every time I scan it, every time I pair it, it sees that it's paired every time I scan it. And all I do is once I do it for mine, as soon as I hit submit, they're getting an email. I don't have to do anything. So as soon as I basically put in that activity, they're getting an email. And it's nice because it says like Husbandry Pro. It's nice and professional looking. And it's just awesome because, I've done breeding loan in the past where I've given animals. I'm like, hey, dude, I haven't heard from 4 months. Like, what's going on? Oh, yeah, the animal's not eating. And well, dude, it's been 4 fucking months. You should have called me a month ago and told me. So you haven't done anything? No. I'm like, wow. With Husbandry Pro, if I'm not getting a notification once a month of something, a pairing, a ultrasound, or I'm like, yo, dude, what's going on with my animal, man? Like, I'm not getting anything. Like, so it's great because it's just a phenomenal feature. And like, Robert says, one of this thing saves you time and money. For me to sit there and have to sit there in my busy to message somebody saying, hey, your animal was locked today, or hey, your animal's follicle size, it does it automatically. So it's just time, money, professionalism, just both ends are like, wow. And it's an awesome feature, so it's definitely state of the art. Like nothing's been like it. And I think we've propelled it where we even thought it would go or what it was even capable because of the users. And, and I think it's going to get even better with other people from different species coming in. It's like, oh shit, we didn't even think of that.
Yeah, we sit back all the time and we go, what else can we do? There's just, so much there. And it's just, and what, we have a reckoning every, few months and go, why the hell are we even trying that? And we throw that in the garbage and then we try something else. Right. So there's a lot of, development is a lot of trial and error too. What's working, what's not working, and don't break it. While you're doing it, right, is every concern. Every time somebody asks for a feature, the question is, will people use it? If the answer is yes, okay, great. Is it going to break anything else? Right? If it's not going to break anything else, we'll go ahead and do it generally. If it might break something, then we circle back to it when, we can devote what it needs to be devoted to it. So. But we'll, somebody asked something here too. Is there a way to force a scanner to, specific activity? For example, the person cleaning grabs a green scanner. So not really. But
you can
the flow
designate
codes,
QR codes, can't you?
Yeah, the flow codes are gonna be what you're gonna want then, because then you'll be able to just use that scanner for feeding by hitting the feed QR code. Instead of the scanner determining, right, what it's doing, it's the actual code itself. So those flow codes will be what you're going to want to use.
And scanners are worth money. So you'd have to get a certain one and they will die out. You know what I mean? I know it's like you don't charge it for some reason or don't put it on the cradle properly and you go, God damn it, the green's not working. Or you'd be like me and, you know, you don't see well and you're scanning the green ones with the orange. It's like, oh, damn it. Like,
just be careful when you do get, if you're getting one of the handheld scanners or the ones they're in a gun shape, that you get a 2D scanner. And keep in mind though, and I know Jeremy, you wanted to ask me about the new label designer. If you create colored labels, they don't get scanned properly with a 2D scanner for some reason. So if you do your QR code anything other than black and white, I did a bunch of red ones or orange ones rather, or colors, and they couldn't read the QR code. The 2D scanners couldn't read the QR code, so they have to be black and white.
Would your phone still be able to do it through camera?
Yeah, the phone still does it. The phone works, right? But the handheld scanners don't. So
I use the phone 80%, if not 90%, than the scanners.
Yeah.
But I have all options. So,
right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Good.
Let's go through and do the last run of sponsor ads here real quick, and we'll get back into this, everybody.
Awesome.
1 second. Let's see who we got to do yet. All right, here we go.
Are you ready for a force to be reckoned with? Check out Triforce Morse. They've been in the game for 10 years. They're working in the Citron Clown Pied project along with Ghost Clowns, Ghost Pieds, the Matter Project, and Lace. That's right, folks, Lace. Everybody loves Lace. And to top it off, they're also working with Crested Geckos as well. So make sure you check out Triforce Morse. They are a force to be reckoned with. Are you ready to take it to the next level? Then check out DTMG Pythons. Danny is best known for his awesome clown ball python projects. This year his focus is Confusion, Hurricane, and Disco Inferno clowns. He also specializes in high-end crested gecko morphs such as Exantic, Lily White, and Exantic Lily Whites, along with the Deadpool line of gargoyle geckos. Check out his morph market and Instagram, DTMG Pythons. Just buy it. Lucas Landon Royals produces some truly high-caliber snakes. Kai has been breeding ball pythons for 6 seasons and counting. He's working toward multi-recessive combos such as DG Clown, Hypo Clown Pied, Sunset Candy Pied, and DG Exantic Pied. He's working with several other species of snakes, but next year he's going to start breeding Boa Imperators, and he also has a small group of Super Dwarf Retics, so be on the lookout for some Super Dwarf Cow Retics. Become a Royal at Lucas Landon Royals.
If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you, you will not regret it.
I had to make sure we ran that one more time. Yeah. But everybody, in case
they couldn't
you don't
tell.
want to go to the description there, here is our partnership link. Feel free to click it. I know, Terry, you were saying about how you're sold now and you're going to get husbandry. There you go, girl. Click that link. Genomic Labs. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. All right, so Billy basically got us to talk about the whole breeding plan, or not the breeder loan thing that I wanted to cover, which awesome, Billy. Thank you, bro. Let's dive into the label designer. I know the one thing I had told you I was getting questions about is like changing the fonts, the boldness, stuff like that. Apparently people have old eyes. I don't know.
Well, as far as I know, so I haven't used the label designer in a little while, but if you go to the label designer, you should be able to put, when you put any field in there, you can just click on it and then change the font, change font size. It's all right down there at the bottom.
Okay.
Underline any of it. So you can even add a little bit of text there. So what we did with this when we redid the
which
new
one is this?
You want to always use now the label designer, and then it's got a little new tag beside it. Okay. Sheet label designer is the old designer that we used. Dymo printer labels is the old designer that we used. We created a new designer where you create your label and then you decide how you want to use that label. So labels, whether they're on a Dymo, which would be actually a thermal printer. We shouldn't actually use the word Dymo, but a thermal printer. You create your label size and then you print it. Well, it's really the same thing with sheets. You create your label size, and then how many of those labels are on a sheet, right? So it's kind of the same thing. So what we did was we said, okay, so let's let them design their label first, however they want it, because they know how big that is. So you need to know your label size, the actual label itself, whether it's on a sheet or it's thermal. So you go and you set up your size, you design your label. You can design your label with animal name, descriptor, sire ID, tags, weights, animal ID, date of birth, whatever you want. You can put a background image. You can put a logo on it. You can put a QR code on there. You can put the sex. You can then put any field that you want. And you can also put a custom text line too. If you want to put your URL on the bottom or something too, you can also add that. So after you create your label, you would hit next. And that's when you start saying, okay, is it one label or is it on a sheet? And then if it's one label, that would go to a thermal printer. That's by far the best implementation of printing labels. If you want it on a sheet, you then need to fill out more information. You need to check your paper size. You need to put in gaps, margins, all that stuff, how many columns, how many rows there are. It's more difficult to set up for sure, and we don't recommend it because you're dealing with little millimeters here, there, and the other place, right? You're also dealing with A4 or letter size, 2 different sizes. You're dealing with different print engines. So your computer will have a certain print engine and default is always fit to size. Well, if you print fit to size, it's never going to work because it's stretching that design that we've created. So you need to print it the exact size. So there's all those kind of nuances that you really need to do with the labels. So I know a lot of people do have some issues building the labels, right? And the sheets and stuff, but you can get it if you play with it, right? And I can't figure out an easier way to do it because it's really the only other way to do it is to actually build the templates ourselves and say, this is the Avery, blah, 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 blah. But again, we're still dealing with the shrink to size. And here's the other problem is I know for a fact, if you want a 2.5 inch by a 4 inch label, there are probably 20 different Avery SKUs for that size label, right? Because there's, shiny, there's removable, there's Canada, there's US, there's Europe. Even though they're the exact same sheet specifications, they're a different number. So in order for us to catalog every option of Avery label would take forever. So that's kind of why we don't do that anymore. We did that initially. We don't do that anymore. We're like, you want to use the label sheet, you can figure out how this goes on. It's 3 columns and whatever. So then you can print the labels. Now, what this also allowed us to do is we also have a card printer. I've shown them before where they're basically a credit card, right? So we're getting ready to roll this out too, where you can purchase these cards, us printing them on hard stock or on hard credit card is basically what it's like. And then you would go ahead and build your list of animals you want, hit submit to us. We'll print the cards and mail them to you is kind of where we're heading with that one. Those designs can be done. And that's why we did this, because this design can be as detailed as you want. Like it can be, you could build high quality business cards in this designer that we have now, full color, right? So you can do that now. We have in beta right now, I don't know if it's in beta still or not, where you can add a photo of the animal also to it.
I was just going to ask you about that because when I was playing on it earlier, I saw that there was an option for a photo.
Yep.
Now, the only thing I wasn't sure is, do you manually have to put that photo in for every animal, or does it automatically do it?
It automatically takes your default photo. So every animal can have 10 photos, whatever. Yeah. But you can select one in the animal as default. That's the one that's going to show up in your store if you have that animal on your store, or its information sheet. It's the top one. It will also be the one that prints out on these labels, right?
Oh,
if you want a photo. So now you have photos too. So this is basically just a way to create, an awesome label, however you want to do it. You can even color your QR codes. all that kind of stuff. You'll be able to send them to us. We'll print them and send them out and that kind of thing for people that don't have printers, don't want to go through that much work. You can do it on your phone. Make sure you go landscape on it. Yes, landscape on it to try and do it a little bit better. But yeah, when you add the thing, it actually pops it onto the canvas, and the canvas will look fine on your phone, and then you can slide that around on your phone. Hit next, and just be sure after you get it right. Oh, actually, so after you select the animals, it actually puts up a preview screen, and a lot of people don't know that on the preview screen, it puts all the data on the screen, which is going to go with that animal. Sometimes, let's say you've got an ID that is just hugely long, it looks stupid on the thing, or something is just doesn't look right. You can actually go into each one of those individuals and update the text manually before you go to the next step. Okay. Right? It doesn't change the animal. It doesn't change the data in the animal. It just changes what's going to print on that label. Right? So if you've got something a little too long or you want to remove something, you can do it manually. So you don't have to edit the animal first before you go and print all this stuff. Right? Okay. So then you go and you print and you're done. And it's, you know what, I think it's probably the best we're going to do with this. I don't know that we can get any better at this, and we're looking for feedback if people are having issues with it. But I think this one, I think we finally got this one right after I think this is the 4th iteration of our printing engine for labels. So, because you can do pretty much anything with it. We also have this designer is actually coming out in a few different places too for clutch cards. You're going to be able to design your own freaky clutch cards. The same designer is going to be in the checkout animals for an event, so you'll be able to create a different size card specifically for your events. So we're implementing this engine into all the different spots where you go to print, or where you can go and print a label for anything. Okay. Cards, animals, racks, whatever. Right.
So you can actually make, so if I have a bunch, the only thing is the price. But it's so I could actually get a card for these animals with everything on it, and then I could give that to the customer because I won't need it anymore.
Well, yeah. So yes. So we can do, you can print out a card with the photo of the animal on it too. You can do, with the QR, all that kind of stuff. And when you sell that, you can give it to, in my mind, because of the cost, they're not going to be super cheap. Because they're not
rewritable, or they're not reusable. Well, so you might as well. I don't need an animal that I've given to someone else.
Right. Exactly. So the cards are going to be available in 2 formats. They're going to be available in just a straight credit card type, but also with NFC. So the card will actually have built-in NFC to it also. So you don't actually have to print. You don't have to put the QR on it. You could just use the NFC portion of it, which would work too. So
I couldn't put an animal label on it or any of the information of the animal, because if I change the QR code, I can't change the animal's name. See what I'm saying? For a show?
Right. I'm not sure what you mean. If you print out the card goes with the animal.
Off a QR code.
Yep.
Like if I go and select 10 animals that I want to sell next month.
Yep.
I send them to you. You print them off with NFC.
Yep.
Once I have those and I put them on and the animal sold,
you give them
even if I held it, I could reutilize the NFC because it's rewritable.
Right.
But all the QR code and the
they're specific to that animal.
One and done. Yeah. So there's no sense.
I would use it. So for me, the idea was to use it for the animals that you have long term in your collection.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you have an animal for 3-4 years and you waste $3-4 on a beautiful whatever they call. Yeah, whatever they cost. I mean, it's minimal.
Yeah, they'll be somewhere between $2 and $4 depending on quantity and whether you have NFC or not. So they're not going to be hugely expensive. So to do 100, if you have 100 animals, it's a few $100.
They're amazing.
Right. They look nice.
Next level. You can get them wet and they don't smear. Like it's next level. I mean, I love them. Yeah. But I just look like, okay, well, if I have 600 adult females, and
exactly.
Wow, I got a lot of money to spend. Exactly. I got to sell some
Billy problems.
Exactly. Again, we don't need to hear about them.
I mean, they are phenomenal. I got to integrate them somehow because it's next level. Like
they are cool.
They're just next level, and I want to be next level. It's just awesome.
See, what I did was I print everything off onto like really nice like semi-gloss photo paper.
Yep.
Cut it out and then laminate it, and then cut it out from the lamination stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that looks good too. Yeah, because then you don't need to worry about margins or anything. You could actually just use our label printer, say I want X number on the sheet, print that sheet, cut it out, and you're done. Right? That is
laminate.
fantastic. Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Colors.
Absolutely.
It's just you're not confounded by the Avery
to the label size.
Or if you're off by a little, you know, like I used to do it when my first 2 columns were great. And then the first 2, and then the last like 11 or 12 were off or crooked or like really. So I would get like 2/3 of the sheet off of an Avery or maybe a little more, and I'd be throwing the rest out. You know, have to reprint them. You know, so
yeah. You know, I mean, here's one. I mean, they work. They look fine.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
That looks awesome.
Cheap, easy.
Exactly.
But this is with the whole the sheet label designer though,
right?
Because I wouldn't use Photoshop to create the whole card and then save that on the husbandry.
Oh yeah. No, that's
so
good.
I'm anxious to try this new the new design of it, because I always thought it'd be neat to have, you know, just a small picture of that animal. You know, once you start getting animals that have multiple genes stacked in there, you're going to have those animals that look almost the same, but you know, unique features to them that make them stand out.
Yep, for sure.
Upstate here says Triforce gave me the hard cards with the stakes that they got from them. Very nice.
They must have done those themselves. Very cool.
I said Nathan from Infinite Possible Pythons. He has a printer of some sort that can print on like credit card type of deals.
Yep.
And he's able to do it.
Right.
I know he's
so he can do the same thing. Yeah, because really what our platform does is it creates a PDF. So whatever you can print that PDF to. So when we're printing these with the Fargo printers, the card printers, is we create the Dymo version or the thermal version, and it just creates, you know, if there's 30 animals, 30 little pages, PDFs of that high quality graphic that we just run to the printer, right? And bam, away they go, right? So it works great.
Well, we're running up onto 2 hours here, guys. Everybody in the chat, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them. I figure we'll go for another 30 minutes roughly, and then we'll call it a night, let you guys get some sleep. We all know Billy doesn't need sleep. Man runs off of Red Bull and Monsters and sleeps for the week with him, but
my eyes are this big at 5 a.m. every day. So when it's getting close to 10 at night, it's one of those days for me.
With Herp Social.
Yes.
God, I drew a blank on that for some reason. What can we expect to see with Herp Social, and where are you planning on taking that?
Herp Social is up in the air right now, is where we are with that. So when we decided to do that, it was, you know, something for the community. There is no money to be made for us in that.
There was never an intention.
There was never intent to make money with it. It was just to fill a need that was out there at the time.
And test our API.
Our APIs and things like that.
Basically select and go rate, which works beautifully.
Right. So it was to see what we can offer. So, and it was always, you know what, we don't know if it's going to be successful. It's for the community. It's really up to the community to decide, right? It's not going to, me posting on it daily is not going to help anything. Billy posting on it daily is not going to help anything. So it started well. There aren't a ton of users that use it anymore, but it's up and we're not going anywhere. It's going to be up as long as users are going to use it. As long as there's some users, there's thousands of registered users with it. There's people that use it every day. It's not our focus. It's not where we're at. We built it. It's on our servers. We're cool with spending the money on the servers every month. We're cool with keeping it updated. We're cool with, we have one staff member that goes in every day and moderates it. So we're cool with all that. It's not a focus for us. And it's something that we're just going to see what happens. If the community uses it, great. If the community's done using it at some point, that's fine too. There are other options out there for it. And you know what? It also, this kind of thing goes with the ebbs and flows of what happens with Facebook. When Facebook starts cutting down on selling stuff and animals and all that other kind of happy stuff, people look for that option. That option is there. If people are going to use it, great. If they're not going to use it, that's fine too. There's other options. And you know what, as a business model, that's kind of how we live by. Yeah, we believe we make a great product. We appreciate the users that are going to use it. We know we're not the only game in town on any of this. And we're happy if you're using somebody else, as long as you're using something to up your care and communicate with other people and all that kind of stuff, it's cool. Right. So it's up in the air. It's where it is right now. We have a lot of things that we're focusing on, and a lot of things that, we want to do well, and we want to stay in our lane as much as possible too. But we also want to bring some of the other features that we have going. So what is Herp Social? Herp Social is like Facebook for reptile enthusiasts. Yep. Herp.social. So go sign up, check it out. You can make groups, and it's free. There's no charge or anything else. There's a marketplace there where people are posting animals from Husbandry Pro, goes automatically, or people are manually uploading. That kind of thing.
It's the aspect of being able, because as you guys all saw earlier, my storefront needs some major updating because there's more animals for sale than what's on there, but there's not many more because I'll tell you what,
problem to have.
I was gonna say sales have been good. I will not lie. They've been steady. I'm kind of at the bottom of my barrel at the moment. I just need more babies to, I need clutches on the ground. Essentially, is where I'm at right now. But it is nice that you can go and upload everything from your store on Husbandry Pro. Everybody, it's like what, maybe 2 clicks. Maybe something like that. It's click of a button.
You got to set it up one time, and then you're good to go. Yep. Yeah,
and it just transfers everything over from your store and displays it on Herp Social. It's really nice. It's a very nice feature to it.
But we always considered that a third, like a separate application, right? It's not Husbandry Pro. It's just to test our integrations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you use it, great. Keep using it.
So, does anybody else have any more questions for these guys? I'm trying to look at my sheet here and trying to decipher what we have covered and haven't covered. I think we basically hit everything I had, and that was essentially just us bullshitting. We covered everything I wanted to cover for tonight.
So it's a 6-hour drive for me to go down to Gettysburg. So I hope it's worth it. When's the next show?
Gettysburg is March. Oh, let's see. The next one is March. March 23rd. March 23rd is the next Gettysburg.
So that's the week after Tinley then, right?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know when Tinley is because I can't afford to go out to Tinley.
How many? That's not very far from you, is it?
Tinley, I think, is an 8-hour drive, roughly. 8 or 9 hour drive.
Yeah. So Tinley's March 16th, 17th. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to make it down for that.
Okay.
I'll be traveling the weekend before, and I think my wife's out of town the week before that. So I got a damn dog to look after.
There's other shows throughout the year, though.
Yeah.
I'll get you all the dates and everything.
Well, let me know for sure.
I mean, it'd be, like I said, it'd be awesome for you to come down, make it. I mean, it's a decent sized show. It's got a lot of room to add in to grow even too. Right. But it's got a lot of good breeders that come out to it. So
I was down to one in New York before Christmas, and it was surprisingly big for a small town. It was in Syracuse, New York, and I was surprised how big it was for sure. It took up a couple buildings.
I say it's like an indoor. I guess it's like an indoor stadium.
Yeah, it's not. That's a problem.
No, yeah. But I mean, it's like an indoor, like mini sports stadium type of deal. I guess how I would describe it. Very nice area. I mean, very nice sized area and it's got like, God, I think. Well, you would think after playing the ad for so many times, I'd have it like memorized. But there's a lot of vendors there. There's a lot of vendors.
Cool. Cool. Well, we'll put it on the list and definitely, because yeah, if I can come down, even if we don't do a booth and kind of that kind of thing, I'll still try and do that, just because we want to talk to breeders and that kind of thing for sure. 45,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's a big place, and then they've got a guy that does like a live animal show, lets kids kind of get to see some of this, like these bigger lizards and the bigger
for
snakes.
now until they ban that shit like idiots.
Is it just one day the show or 2 days?
It's just a 1-day show.
1 day, okay.
Yeah, it's a Saturday show. We set up Friday, go out to eat Friday night, and then Saturday show time, and then after that, it's come home and recoup.
Been there.
Awesome.
We have Billy here in PA, man. I'll tell you what, and I don't want to jinx it, but we have some of the just laid back reptile laws probably in the whole country. I mean, you can come here.
Just jinxed it.
You can find alligators, caimans, venomous, like you name it. About the only thing we can't have here are those freaking beautiful iguanas you guys can have up there. There's Fiji iguanas. That's about the only thing we're not allowed to have.
Yeah.
And that's just, I guess, U.S. in general.
Yeah.
But,
I was surprised that you guys couldn't have those. They're amazing.
It makes no sense. It makes no freaking sense.
Well, you can't even have
TJ,
regular iguanas. You can't have regular iguanas in Florida anymore either, can you?
No,
I don't think you can have them in Florida anymore. But at this point, you probably just go out and catch one.
Yeah, exactly. One falling out of a tree.
awesome.
There was a question. I think I started. Let me see if I can't find it here. All right, maybe I didn't start. I should have started. Someone had asked. Julia had asked. Here, this is probably more geared towards you, Billy. But Julia says, I finally found a blade clown female that's almost 4 years old. I'm making payments for her. I want to breed her to my banana. Do you think it's a good match?
Well, it's a good match if you want to make banana blade clowns down the road. So because the male banana is not visual clown or carries the is a het clown, you won't be able to make clowns right off the bat. But I do like banana clowns are awesome. So what would happen is you'd have to breed the male banana to the blade clown, hold back, females and males, or as long as you'd get a banana. So it's probably a male make. So I would hold back the banana het clown male, raise it up, and then the year later breed it back to the mom, and then you could hit banana blade clowns within 2 years of a year after she bred.
Yeah.
So I don't like to give suggestions on pairings, because you should be making pairings that you really enjoy or something. I don't want people to make animals that I like. I do that with my own stuff. I want people, and that's what I do. I don't breed animals because, Justin made these, or, I love this. I do it because this is what I want to make. I do get a lot of inspiration from other breeders, big and small, hence the MC Team of the Week, Pick of the Week. I look at it and go, wow, I like this direction. But I breed because I want to produce it, because I want to make it, or I like it, or it's ingredients for something that I'm, have concocted in my head. Well, it'd be great to do this and this. And even 7 years, if I hit it, I'll make the ingredients. So I like to tell people. Now, if it was a spider against a champagne, I would say no, because they have, problems breeding. There's a lot of, unfortunate casualties that come out. But other than that, you really want to breed animals that you want to create, or it's most people that make an animal to hold back, that's with you for 4, 5, 6 years minimum to raise up, to breed for a few years, and then pass on to another up and coming breeder as you are continually upgrading your animals. So if you're going to look at it, feed it, clean it, and take pictures of it for 3+ years, you really want to enjoy that look of that animal, So, and it's funny because I'll tell you, there's animals in my collection that don't really do anything for me visually, but the genetics inside are why they're there. But I'll tell you, I don't open those drawers. Wow, look at this. It's a quad het. Look at this leopard quad het. I'm probably one of 5 people in the world with it. It does nothing for me. It's a leopard. But then I'll have something else that is just, look at this thing. Man, it's better and better every, the other one's more expensive. It's more genetically powerful. It'll be in my collection longer than these pretty ones. But I'm opening up the pretty ones, taking pictures and enjoying that more because it's visual. So, and 20 plus years ago, my first 20 animals were all normals. So when I had to open that bin, I'm trying, wow, this one has more gold, or this one's darker. This one has weirder alien heads. But they were 20 normals that I raised up for 4 years before I bred them. So now having the option of having something that's so incredible, and you don't have to have high-end animals to be visually beautiful. You can have just some 2 gene or low-end stuff. And, a lot of the genes, like banana is one of them. The more stuff you throw into banana, the worse it looks. Banana cinnamon, banana enchi, banana black pastel, banana mahogany, stuff like that. You start adding pastel and fire, it fades it out. It just gets rid of what I really love about the banana gene. So I would definitely breed for something you really want to have and you really want to look at, because if you're looking at something for 3 to 5 years and ain't really getting any enjoyment, or like, wow, look at this thing, I can't stop looking at it, you're not going to get that with just a normal animal that you don't like, so definitely breed for, what you want to create and for visual, especially if you're, just getting into this as a hobby. You want to have animals that just blow you away instead of looking online and seeing animals that blow you away. Once you get those animals in your own collection that you can, feed and raise up and enjoy yourself and touch in person, it's way better, because I go on Morph Market. I have amazing collection, and I go on Morph Market and go, damn, look at that. Wow. Like I get excited and it's on a screen. When it's in your collection and you produced it or own it, it's next level. It's definitely next level. And I definitely suggest that in anything you can do. So
I know the one thing, and everybody, I know probably the first 5 people that are going to jump on my ass on this one when I say it, but everyone in this hobby, as far as ball pythons, wants to make these beautiful colored animals. And I'll tell you what, folks, nothing excites me more than the Exantic, plain black and white grayscaled stuff. That is what drives me in this whole hobby. And Nathan, Scott, John, go ahead, drop your hate on me. I love you anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's what you love. If you don't love opening up those bins every time, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, and even if you're looking at them and it's a stepping stone, because a lot of the stuff that I have now, I have because I put in the work and I've raised and I made stuff and I've held it back and then made something else and chased the odds. Doing that, it even gives me more satisfaction, because I know this beautiful animal, the work, the time, the chasing, the drive to keep it on and going to get that animal, and hence the price. People are like, I can't believe people pay $20,000, $30,000 for an animal. Well, I mean, I'd even pay more because it's the only one, and it's not even for sale, But if you had that, what I could do with it, moving forward, saving time, it's just the way you look at things. But, if it takes you 6-7 years to make one and you can't reproduce them that fast, you're not giving that away for all that time and stuff. And being, I have a lot of animals that, I'm, lucky to have, I'm the only one with, or, a few other select breeders have that because they put that pairing or that combination and hit after all that time. So it's great to have stuff where, wow, like I'm one of maybe 15 people in the entire world that have this animal or something like it with these genetics. This is incredible. And you keep doing that and you will get there. I mean, I started with 20 normals, 22 years ago. It's the growth, the learning, the adding, the investing, the time, the work, the patience or the impatience, chasing the odds and growing. And it's been fun. And I've learned a lot along the way. but I definitely want to have animals that you really enjoy to look at, to keep that, because if you're doing this for 5 years and you're just producing normal animals and everyone else is producing all this crazy stuff and it's selling, and you're getting jealous every time they post a picture and you're like, I can't post a picture of these, and you're getting no satisfaction, why are you doing this? Or why are you creating this much? I would rather have people have 5 snakes that are incredible, that they love, they don't know which one is their favorite, and breed that to make more credible stuff than try to have all this stuff to eventually make this great stuff down the road and never get there because their passion just fizzles out.
Mm-hmm.
E&H Exotic gets it. Using colorblind as an advantage.
Welcome to the club. You're colorblind, Jeremy?
Partially. I see colors.
Green reds, right?
No. All right. See, I have a hard time describing mine because people even bought me colorblind glasses. Mm-hmm. Like from the YouTube channel, they went together, bought me these. I forget what brand they even were, and they didn't work. They screwed my eyes up even more. Like it made the green grass look blue. Like it totally jacked my vision.
Well, I have the color blindness that when you do a test, that there isn't the glasses for it, right? So it's a red green deficiency. So everything that has red and green in it. So browns, I'm screwed up. I think browns and greens are the same. Reds and pinks are sometimes close, that kind of thing. So
I was gonna say, like, because I do construction and we use like hot pink marking paint a lot of times.
Yep.
And I have to constantly, I used to have to remind my foreman all the time, like, when you mark a job out, don't use that because I can't see it.
Right.
Because I was on a job site the one day and my foreman goes, do me a favor, go down through there and just connect all those pink dots. I'm like, what dots, dude? Like, I don't see it. And like he looked at me, goes, "Are you serious?" Like, dude, I was like, "What dots?" He goes, "You're standing on one." I looked at my feet. I'm like, "Dude, there's nothing there, man." Like, funny, He goes, "Are you colorblind?" I was like, "Yes, I am partially." He goes, "Just hand me the can of paint, dude." He went.
Yeah, you probably have the same kind I have.
If you do not want to do some labor work that includes color and paint, tell them you're colorblind, and they'll find someone else to do it for you.
Yeah. It's a good plan.
John says Jeremy sees white. What is snakes? Yellow and black. What is brown? Wow. I love you, John. I love you, bro. All right, guys. Well, how about we call it a night? I appreciate you guys jumping on here with me. It was a blast as always. I apologize everybody for that grinder noise you've probably heard a couple of times throughout the live. That's my sump pump from all the rain and all the snow melting. We actually got snow this year. It was a surprise.
Ours is all melting too. It's been brutal.
Yeah.
It's been brutal. Well, Jeremy, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
I appreciate it, guys. Like I've said before, even before I became a partner with you guys, I love the software. It's revolutionary. It has saved me time, and that to me is money.
Yeah, good. It's the plan. That's definitely the plan. So, and one other thing too is Zach will be reaching out to all the partners. We're redoing the partner program, and we're going to be working with you guys to help spread the word a little bit. So we've got a couple different programs planned. So he'll be reaching out and get that all figured out in the next few weeks.
All right, awesome. I look forward to it, dude.
Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Thanks everybody for showing up, listening to the boring stuff. Thank you, Billy. We'll chat to you in the next couple days.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Have a great night, everybody. And I'm actually going to remember to run the outro this time because Holly did an outro and I never remembered to do it. So everybody go check out the sponsors. Make sure you guys, if you aren't using Husbandry Pro, click that affiliate link in the description down below. Dropped it in the live chat there a little bit. Go find it as well. But give it a shot, guys. I think you'll like it. See you next weekend. Have a good one. Later.
Peace out.
Cool.